Ladies and gentlemen, what's going on? Welcome to episode 63 of the It's Obvious Gaming Podcast. I'm your host, Preston Pugh, and I'm joined by my two best friends, Garrett Drake.
Hey, Preston.
And Jacob Aka.
Hi.
How are you gentlemen doing this fine Saturday afternoon?
I'm doing just fine. We had some T-Bell. The tradition lives on. It was so good. Tell us more about that burrito you had today.
It was good. I liked it.
Yeah, what was in it
I'm a
again?
big Taco Bell connoisseur.
Right.
And typically, you know, there's the old joke that goes around that they just throw all their ingredients together and just create something that tastes the same but in a different form.
Right.
And essentially that is kind of the same thing with their new core cheese, whatever it's called, burrito, with the cheesy core.
Right.
But I like it a lot. It tastes different enough to intrigue me, and it warranted a second purchase for me this weekend.
Great.
So I recommend it. To all the people out there that like a high class meal.
Yeah. Amen, brother. And for those that don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, it's a burrito that has beef, rice, Fritos, and just a thick inner core of 4 cheeses, right?
Inspecting it, you know, as I took it apart, I inspected it, more this time.
Yeah.
The first time I ate it, I kind of just ate it. Yeah, this one I actually wanted to see what was going on inside the burrito. It looks like they took, you know, they make cheesy roll-ups?
Yes.
It's essentially like they took a cheesy roll-up, which is just a tortilla with just a ton of cheese on the inside.
Right.
And they just absolutely loaded it with cheese and nacho cheese.
Right.
And then just formed a burrito around it.
It's a cheese lover's delight right there.
Yeah.
That's probably what I would have named it.
Yeah.
So.
Why didn't you get it?
Why didn't I?
Yeah.
Well, I looked at the picture and it didn't look too flattering, but when I saw you eating it, I was like, that looks a little more flattering. You think it'd be vice versa. You think when someone's eating it, you're like, that looks kind of nasty.
Doesn't look, I thought it looked delicious to me.
And the
Tons
picture
of cheese and stuff.
And the picture I looked at didn't look too flattering, so I was like, I don't know about that. And I'm always on edge about branching out when I go to Taco Bell. I always eventually do, but it takes me a little while. You know, I'm like the scared critter that sees something foreign and I just like creep up to it a few times, like several times before I have the balls, you know, touch it for the first time. So that's kind of how I am with new T-Bell items. But
see, I'm very adventurous. The second I see anything new whatsoever, I like to branch out. And I'll say 80% of the time I regret it.
Right.
But
that's why I don't.
There is always that small. I like to take gambles in life. There is always that small chance to where it turns out in my favor, and I actually really like it. Which, in case that's what the cheesy core burrito was.
Right. Yeah. So. I too do like to live dangerously from time to time. But it takes me a little extra time. So I guarantee you probably next time I go, I'm going to give it a shot.
I definitely recommend it. A bad example would be I ran out of pre-workout about last week, and I always get the fruit punch flavor. It tastes delicious. It's very good. It tastes just like Kool-Aid. And I saw they had a blueberry lemonade now. And I was like, that sounds good enough. Alas, it's not good, and I was stuck with buying a rather expensive jar of something I have to drink. Yeah. So yeah,
that sucks, man.
In that case, I should have just stuck to Old Faithful.
Right.
But anyways, Jacob, how was your Taco Bell?
To build on what you just said, whenever I find a supplement that I like, I usually stick to it because most of them aren't good.
Amen to that.
Be honest.
Which one do you tend to stick to?
I don't take any pre-workout or anything. I just take protein, and I use the Cellucor brand.
Okay.
And
is it a certain flavor?
Yeah, they have like many different flavors, but
which one's your favorite?
I usually stick to the either vanilla or chocolate.
Interesting.
They're both much.
You ever do the swirl, vanilla and chocolate swirl protein shake?
No.
Why not?
Because it's. Why do I want to take the time to put half and half when I can just put a scoop in? It's not fun.
A chocolate vanilla swirl protein shake.
Man, I don't really think about it when I'm drinking these. I'm just like, I'm getting out of the gym. I chug it really quick and then I'm done. So
yeah, well, it's working for you.
See, that's the thing with the pre-workout is you have like 6 ounces of water and you're supposed to chug it as fast as possible. So the taste doesn't matter. However, in this case,
some of them you're supposed to drink like as you're working out. Though.
Oh, not this one. This one you're supposed to take 45 minutes before you work out. But and I need it. It's a necessity for me to do anything physically at all because I'm just 99.9% of the day I feel like I'm just dying on a couch because I'm so tired. So it's my savior to get any physical activity at all. But anyways, the problem with the blueberry lemonade is that they really tried to replicate the taste of lemonade, tartness and all. So I'm drinking this tart powder drink. And as I'm working out, I'll, burp every now and then, and this just sourness will arise from my stomach, and it's just nasty. So I have to chug like a gallon of water to chase it down with, so I don't have that nasty burp. Whereas with the fruit punch, I would welcome a nice burp here and there, because fruit punch is a very refreshing, tasty drink, and it complements, you sweating and stuff.
Yeah.
However, you would think, you sit out on your porch, have a nice lemonade and stuff, but and it, it would complement the, you sweating and stuff. But not in my opinion. I do not like a sour taste in my mouth when I'm exercising.
I'm sorry to hear your bold move into the unknown backfired on you.
That's fine. And the woman at the counter, she questioned me too.
Really?
Yeah. She's like, "Oh, blueberry lemonade. I should have taken that as a warning."
It is a weird flavor. Blueberry lemonade.
They only had 2,
especially in protein.
They don't even like
or a supplement.
Oh yeah, it's fine. It tastes like I said, it's 6 ounces of water. That's it. You just chug it down. It's done and over with. But the aftertaste is what gets me. But it's okay. I could be complaining about worse things in my life than my pre-workout makes me not feel good. Like, I could complain about worse things.
Here you are.
Here I am.
Speaking of working out, Jacob, I know you're a jacked man. I know you don't think so, but a lot of other people do think so, and I'm one of them. But I think the reason why, especially people that I know in real life that tell me like, "Man, your friend's so jacked," I'm like, "Yeah, he is." But you know why they probably say that more often than not is because I didn't realize this till last night. I was editing our thumbnail for our No Man's Sky Let's Play, and when you're sitting next to me, you look like a freaking tank compared to me, because I'm like super skinny and like pale, and you're like, not only are you slightly more tan than I am, but you are just huge compared to me. Like, sitting next to me is a drastic contrast. So I can kind of understand why people look at that and be like, "Dang, that guy's the Hulk." So your protein shakes are certainly helping you look very beefy, and I approve.
Yeah. You also look like a bigger idiot compared to him as well.
Absolutely.
Maybe.
Yeah, the bigger you get, the stupider you are too.
That's true.
Scientific.
So, I mean, look at the Hulk. He's so huge, he's an idiot.
Yeah.
All you can say is Hulk smash.
Dude,
and
that's
stuff.
like irrefutable evidence right there. Didn't even think about that.
Right.
Excellent point.
So
that's why you can't be too big. You don't want to lose everything.
That's true.
Right? Yeah.
I would keep it right around where you're at.
You want to dance on that line between big and smart.
Yeah, tread lightly, Jacob. Yeah. By the way, it's a great shirt. I like it a lot on you.
Thank you.
I always like when you were blue. It brings out your eyes. And I like stripes. And the stripes make you look even stronger than before. So,
well, I like your comic book DC shirt.
Yeah, everyone's been criticizing, not really criticizing, but guessing all the characters on the shirt today. And we've got most of them correct, and then some of them look like other characters. Which guy?
This metal guy right here.
Oh, it's Ultron, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a DC shirt.
You have the vision up there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
But we got most of them right, but there's so many on here you can just look at it for hours and guess them.
Captain Sword.
It's kind of like Where's Waldo on the
just a Gotham City police officer up there.
Yeah. You got to throw in the law enforcement, they're the real heroes.
They're the real heroes. So let's just hide them in the back.
Yeah. How's everyone's week?
Good.
Yeah?
Yeah. I told you about my sucky 3 days of my tonsils swelling.
That's terrible.
So I'm finally getting over that.
I'm sorry, Preston.
So to the viewers, my tonsils every now and then swell up, and it just makes anything involving my mouth just a pain. So I think they're settling down now. So,
good.
But yeah, that was the majority of my... Whoa. What was that?
I was about to sneeze. I thought I had more time to say I'm going to sneeze, and then I sneezed mid-sentence, so I apologize. At least it wasn't directly into the mic. That would frighten me if I was listening to a podcast.
But yeah, I played, I battled, I had that battle, played some No Man's Sky, which I'm sure we'll talk about eventually.
Yes, we will.
And me and you had a date.
We did.
That was fun.
We shot guns and ate swine. Literally, it's a very American day, to say the least. Barbecue swine, to be precise.
Swine's good.
It is, yeah. It was good. It came back to haunt me a little later. Every time I eat pork, it kind of messes me up, like hours later. It doesn't like kill me. It's just like, man, I got to release fury right now. It's kind of the situation I end up in. But that barbecue was so good, and it's always a pleasure. It was a great date, too. It'd been a while since you and I had just hung out.
Yeah.
So it was a fun time. What about you, Jacob? You went on a few dates, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
And you enjoyed yourself?
In 1 week?
Yeah.
A few?
Well, the same person.
Oh, wow.
A couple dates, yeah.
Would you look at that?
Yeah.
Met a woman.
You met a woman.
Don't know if she's the one, but she's something.
The one to date or the one to spend the rest of your life with? with.
She might be one to date.
Okay.
I don't know if she's the
Well, you're
one
technically
forever.
dating her right now. Is she the
I
one that you
guess,
could see
yeah.
yourself in a relationship with?
Sure.
Cool.
Yeah.
When
That's
can I
exciting.
meet her?
I don't know.
I've met her before several times.
Have you?
Yeah.
Oh, it's been.
I went to high school with her.
Oh,
we went to high
really?
school with her. So
So I guess I just can never meet her. So whatever. I don't
Preston,
care.
You might
maybe
freak
one
her
day.
out.
Maybe one day.
Yeah, man. Tell her that I'm the host of this podcast I allow you to be on,
Yeah.
and she'll respect me.
Yeah.
Oh. But yeah, she's great. Been hanging out with her a lot. Been
Cool.
playing some No Man's Sky.
Yes, sir.
Oh, did you buy it?
I did.
Physical edition?
No, I
Oh
couldn't
man,
find it.
you guys.
The closest one
It was
an
sold out
hour
everywhere.
away.
Bunch of chumps.
Yep. Yeah.
I didn't care about it enough to pre-order it.
Yeah, I was kind of in the same
No.
boat. That's why I didn't pre-order.
I'll talk about that later, but I think
As will I.
I think the pre-order bonus, in fact, impaired. What is that a good word?
Impaired the experience.
Yeah.
For some.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
I think so. I
that's a
think
possibility.
So. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, isn't it a ship?
It's like you start off with a hyperdrive and everything. So
Yeah,
a
like you don't have
complete
to, like, build it.
portion. Yeah. Which I thought was a fun part of the game.
Yeah.
Getting that all
Yeah,
assembled.
I guess if you already start out with it, you don't know how to
Yeah.
build it.
Well, there's also a glitch involving the hyperdrive where if you buy, since the game doesn't teach you how to make the hyperdrive, if you accidentally dismantle it or if you accidentally sell your ship and get one without a hyperdrive, you're just forever stuck in that galaxy.
Oh man.
So,
That
Nice.
sucks.
yep.
What a nightmare that would be.
Yeah.
At least you could get lucky and be stuck in a galaxy that has like 5 or 6 planets. But if you get there and there's like a planet and 2
Now,
moons,
is this a topic later on?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so we'll
get to it for sure.
We'll dive into this later.
I don't know if you guys forgot, but we played Overwatch earlier this week. And the three
Yeah,
of
we
us
did.
together
That
for
was
the
very
first time in a
fun.
while was awesome.
Yeah.
We won a lot.
Dude, there was a day this week. I don't know what day it was, but I could not stop playing Overwatch.
Yeah.
I played literally all day, and I
Mhm.
went up like 6 levels,
Nice.
and then I didn't play it again the rest of the week.
Okay.
So,
Interesting. I want to play that some more with you guys because that was super fun, and I could use a break from No Man's Sky. I'm not gonna lie.
my new favorite person to play as, Zenyatta, I just heard is getting nerfed.
Really?
Yeah,
Is he
Okay.
really?
yeah, and I didn't even think he was like, I wasn't like wrecking shop. He was definitely better than he was. I thought he was at a good place.
I know he's
But,
very. He's been replacing Mercy in competitive like lineups. Not that is relevant to us. But
Yeah, I also heard
if that's any indication how strong he is.
definitely he's replacing Anna too. I
Yeah.
heard that
Mhm.
nobody plays as her in
Mhm.
competitive.
Yeah.
I mean, she's hard to use.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a select few people that use her.
Well, you could just
but
be Zenyatta and just aim
Yeah.
in the general direction of somebody.
People are usually going with like Zenyatta, Lucio comps now.
Yeah.
So
Nice.
And they're buffing Mei.
are they really?
Or screw her.
Are they really?
They're only buffing her Ultra.
Or Ultimate?
Ultimate, yeah.
That's interesting.
It's going to go through like Reinhardt shields or something like
Okay.
that. So,
Interesting.
At least they're not
She's
like-
unstoppable.
yeah, at least they're not like buffing up her like gun or something to freeze people faster or
Right.
whatever.
If you
So-
encounter a good Mei, you're doomed.
Yeah.
In any scenario.
Mhm. I haven't played as Mei in a while, but it's always a pleasure when I do, and it's always a nightmare when I don't play as her.
I've
and I'm playing
never-
against her.
I've never played as her and like have done well. I just don't think I think the only like good place to use her on really is, definitely on certain maps,
Mhm.
that
The ones with tighter corridors.
Yeah,
I find her go on
exactly.
the capture maps.
Yeah, she's really good on capture. I like just defending as her on capture.
I was playing with y'all this week and I got freaking owned by a Mei. I was coming in as Reinhardt and y'all were behind me and she threw up a shield right as I entered the room and
No.
completely cut y'all off
Oh, I
for
remember
me.
that, yeah.
I was like, okay, I'll give you that one. That was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
But
She's like, you don't get it, do you? You're not stuck in, or I'm not stuck in here with you. You're stuck in here with me.
yeah, pretty much.
Watchmen.
But never seen it.
It's a cool movie.
I've heard. Zack Snyder, right?
Yeah, it's heavily criticized as all of his movies are at one point or another, but it's still very entertaining. Because I never read the graphic novel, I've only seen the movie.
Was it better than his recent outings?
I
In terms
don't,
of Batman versus Superman?
I wouldn't know because I haven't, like I said, I haven't read the graphic novel. If I'm not mistaken, there's 13 books in the Watchmen series, and he crammed it into one movie, which sounds like it's impossible. But when I watched the movie, I was thoroughly entertained. So
Well, so as just a moviegoer, not even reading anything.
I enjoyed it.
Is it better than all his new stuff?
Well, that's the thing. The only reason I judge this new stuff differently is because I know those characters and I don't know these ones, so it's kind of hard to say.
Well, I've heard just I've never seen Watchmen. From what I've heard, I think people enjoyed those movies.
I enjoyed it.
So
I've just seen, it's funny because recently it's more like now, ever since Batman v Superman came out and Man of Steel, people go back to criticize those more than they used to, it seems, from what I've seen. But I watched it a few years ago, and I remember me and Zach had sat down to watch it, and he was like, I've already seen this once, and he made it like halfway through, and it's like a 3-hour movie, and I sat there like completely into it the entire time from start to finish. So, but yeah, it's pretty cool if you haven't seen it.
So besides Overwatch and No Man's Sky, did y'all play anything else?
Prince of Persia
on
Revelations, yes, on Vita. Still enjoying it. I'm probably like a quarter of the way through the game.
There's no trophies, right?
I don't know if there is or not. I doubt it.
No trophies.
So it's fun though. It's just fun when I'm just killing time. If I have like 30 minutes at work before I have to do something else, I'll play. Or if I'm taking a dump, I'll play. That's usually typically when I'm playing it. Like my barbecue, I told you was coming back to haunt me. I woke up at like 6 a.m. I was like, well, it's time to release the swine. So I went into my bathroom and sat upon the porcelain throne, and I whipped out the Vita and I fought some sandmen with my swords. So. It is funny, though, because the games are really cool, but it's funny to listen to the dialogue in Warrior Within, because it's, like, so stupid. I don't remember it being that stupid. But, like, at the beginning, you're fighting, like, I don't know if it's the Empress, but it's the woman in, like, the very skimpy black outfit who has the 2 swords. You're fighting her. She, like, cuts you across the face, and you're like, you bitch! And then you keep fighting her. It's really cringy dialogue, but the gameplay is very fun. Even, like, nowadays, all these years later, and just running along the walls and doing all the parkour and jumping onto stuff is still super cool, so I'm enjoying myself. But other than that, that's really all I played this week.
They could just release that trilogy collection that was on PS3 with trophies for the Vita, or PS4 for that fact.
That'd be awesome.
All over that. I was such a moron. I went and bought that collection for PS3, and I, like, sold it.
Yeah.
After a week.
I remember that. I remember when you bought that, I was like so pumped up about it. I mean, I didn't have a PS3 at the time, but I was like, that is so awesome.
Yeah.
And you didn't take advantage of it.
I know. I don't know what I was saying. I played like the first 30 minutes of all 3 of them.
The chances of that ever coming back to a collection would only be if they made a new Prince of Persia. And I highly doubt that's going to happen. Of course, I could have sworn I heard a rumor like a year or 2 ago that was like being considered. But I don't know where they would go with it.
I played Mad Max for about 2 hours.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I started completely over. For some reason, I had the urge to play it. I played it for about 2 hours, and I had fun, but I just don't have the urge to go back.
Same with me, dude. So. It's the exact same thing. I played probably about 10 hours of it, and I was well on my way to getting through the game, upgrading my car and capturing bases and stuff, and just one day I was like, I don't really feel like playing that, and I never went back to it. Not that it's bad, it's the weirdest thing. I think it's just the time we're in. Like I said, it's just I'm not in the mood for like an open world RPG, and which is funny because I'm playing through No Man's Sky, which we're going to get to, but I'm struggling with that right now as well. I'm just not in the mood for that kind of game. Hopefully come fall, we have a bunch of those coming just from fall all the way through holiday season. So
that's funny because I am in the mood for that game, which is why No Man's Sky is very captivating to me right now. And unfortunately, I haven't had the opportunity to just sit down and like everybody shut up and just let me play No Man's Sky. It's like I'm constantly just like playing it and having to go do something and stuff. So I think that's kind of like where watching the newest Let's Play you guys put out, I'm on my way to where you guys were. So like y'all are definitely ahead of me. I'm like taking definitely more time doing stuff. But besides the point, like I've said for the 3rd time, we'll talk about that later. Yeah. But I am the only thing on my mind right now that I am just so excited to play is Deus Ex. I cannot wait to play that game. I'm so excited.
I'm definitely gonna play it. I'm getting it day one for sure. Yeah. I don't know what to expect. I've just seen a bunch of gameplay and for the previous game, so I'm kind of going in blind. Yeah. But
I just hope it's as good as the last. Like I've talked about in podcasts. I have a lot. Is that a word? Podcast is. It's not a word. Like I've talked in a previous podcast.
Okay.
I definitely have my gripes with the first one, but every time I look back on it, I have very fond memories of the cool things that game allowed you to do. So if this one can just surpass that one and correct the issues, that's why I'm so excited.
I've read that they have done that. I heard when E3 was going on and they were talking about that game a bit and it was demoed a little bit. What I had read was they had addressed all the minor issues that people complained about in the first one, just to make it an overall more fun experience, and you're not limited to certain things. Like you mentioned, Wasn't it like you had to let your stealth attack charge or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, apparently they got rid of that.
Yeah,
so.
that's good. Just that alone, which I don't know why they didn't patch it out. Maybe it would have like messed with the whole upgrade system or whatever in the first one. But if I was on PC and could have like modded that out, I think it would have improved that game like immensely. Just doing that, because it's just. I mean, can you imagine just sneaking around and getting up to somebody and like, oh crap, I have to wait for my battery to charge, and it's like waiting for it to go up and stuff.
That's just awful. So
just that, minor grievance being fixed.
Totally.
I think that'll benefit it, a lot. But besides that, I think that's pretty much the only thing coming out.
That and Resident Evil 4 on the last day of this month.
Oh yeah. I don't know when I'm gonna get to that, but if you haven't played that and you're just looking for a good single player, like, survival horror experience, you can literally do no better than that.
Right.
So, yeah.
And we got Final Fantasy coming out shortly after that, like 2 weeks later.
Maybe. I was looking through your notes and you did not have
anything. I'm going to be honest, I'm not even slightly interested in Final Fantasy 15, so every time I see news, I just completely pass by it.
Are you going to get it?
Probably, yeah.
Okay, I'm definitely excited to play it, which is I just don't like you. I'm not like looking into news for it. I played Do Scare, whatever it's called.
Yeah,
and I had some problems with it, and I know they fixed it in a patch for even the demo. Never went back and played it, but from the Platinum demo, I completely forgot about that. I enjoyed it, and I wanted to definitely fight more enemies and stuff. Just to get more into it. The story's intriguing me. I liked all the episodes of the anime that have come out. I've enjoyed those.
You've been watching those?
I watched the second. Yeah, I kind of forgot about it too, and I subscribed to that page and I saw like a trailer for one, and then I was like, oh, it's out, so I watched it. Not all of them are out, but I'm interested in that. I like the character somewhat. We'll see. Hopefully, in the full game, it'll flesh him out a little bit more. I kind of think
it's gonna be that VR experience too.
Yeah, dude.
That's actually the only thing I care about is the VR for Final Fantasy.
Yeah, I'm sure. But anyways, there is a rumor going around. It's not confirmed, but from a source saying that it will be delayed again for 2 months.
2 months.
That's November 20.
That's gonna hurt it big time,
especially this close to.
Yeah, it's not confirmed though. It's just from a source. And I saw one tweet from some girl in the game journalism area, whatever the heck it is, saying that this source wasn't reliable, but another one was saying that it was reliable. So they haven't come out and said it yet. If they're going to come, they're going to have to come out pretty soon and say it, because that is like less than a month away.
Right.
So
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
But yeah, that's all I know.
It doesn't make a difference to me, but I will play it. I'm just not super interested in it. So.
Yeah.
See, I thought it was in a good window where it is now, but if it gets pushed back that long, that's when a lot of stuff is coming.
I would kind of be fine with it, because it's coming out like a week before Mafia and stuff.
Yeah, I'm not that into Mafia, so I just wanted to play Final
I'm really into Mafia.
Me too.
That looks so cool.
I'm pumped to play that.
Did you see the newest trailer for it that came out this week?
It's something about like the city or something.
It's like a gameplay thing.
Yeah.
But that game looks really awesome.
It does.
When that comes out, I kind of want that to. If it's Final Fantasy, which is going to probably take a super ass long time to finish, if that comes up on Mafia, then that's when I get stressed out.
Right.
Just wanting to complete all that stuff. But anyways,
yeah.
Did you guys watch anything this week? See any movies?
I don't think so. Casey, do we see any movies? No, we didn't see any movies. We watched a couple movies. We watched 2001: A Space Odyssey last night. You guys heard of that? Have you seen it?
That AI. What's his name?
What's it? Hal. That's right.
Yeah, and he talks in that really creepy voice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's regarded as like one of the scariest movies or something.
Is it?
Yeah.
It's interesting.
It's just like kind of creepy. That's what I've heard.
Yeah, it was kind of creepy, I guess. What about you, Jacob?
I went to see Sausage Party.
Nice.
Very funny.
Yeah. It was very funny.
Seth Rogen is hilarious in anything he does.
Yeah.
Really, so I recommend it to everyone. I don't want to spoil it, but
and that
a lot of erotic humor.
That's the R-rated animated movie with the food, right?
Yeah, in the grocery store.
Even the kids are a big fan, or kid fan base. You would recommend it to them?
Yeah, you'd recommend it to families that want to see a nice
not over 18
animated movie.
It. But
how would you feel if your parents watched that with you? Would it have been fine?
Probably.
I
guess.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe not your parents. I don't know. I don't know how your parents are. So
I've saw The Hangover, the first one, with my parents. Is it worse than that?
Probably.
Oh, okay.
some of the humor is pretty.
I feel like you can get away with more in an animated movie too.
Yeah,
that's true.
Because it's not actual human things.
Yeah,
but I definitely recommend it. It's a good comedy if you want to, if you like raunchy comedies and that sort of thing. It's pretty good. And I also started Stranger Things this week.
Nice. What do you think?
Finished 4 episodes without spoiling anything. Really enjoying it. That's it.
Yeah.
I like the story so far. I like how I guess people disappearing isn't really a spoiler, but I'm interested to see like what this thing is like.
What's going on in this town? It's probably a Stranger Thing.
Yeah,
if I'm not mistaken.
This hole in this wall.
Yeah,
that's all I'll say.
It's exciting. I know a lot of Preston and I have finished it. I know a lot of our pals from the community are watching it or have watched it as well.
Yeah, I'd like to talk about it when I finish it.
I think so too. I think when you knock it out, we should. It'd be fun to do like a discussion about it. Just briefly talk about season 1 because I know a lot of other people have seen it. It'd be cool to talk to them about it as well without spoiling it. But yeah, Stranger Things is awesome. I look forward to season 2. It's confirmed. So just a matter of time now.
Does it tease it?
It is. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Does it tease it at the end? Like something else is coming?
It's not really tease. It's just
there are some ends that aren't tied up.
Yeah. So. And I read into it, and the producers were like, "Yes, we do want to do a second season." At by now, it's like basically been confirmed.
I know that the Netflix guy said that they'd be stupid to not renew it.
Yeah,
that's kind of the newest thing I heard.
Okay, I also read from the writer that they were hoping that it'd be renewed for a second season. So it ends in a way without it isn't. This isn't a spoiler, but it ends like Preston said with like a couple loose ends where you're like, I wonder what they're going to do.
It is a satisfying ending.
It is.
The issue at hand is resolved, but there are some things left that they can tie.
I got a feeling I know what that is.
Yeah, great show. You check out anything this week, Preston?
Me and Lizzie have been wanting to watch something new. We have a discussion every night. We're like, all right, what are we gonna start new? And then we inevitably just fall back into our comfort show, the 600-pound people.
600-pound people.
So we keep because we're just so tired, just like, oh, let's chill and just. I don't really feel like starting anything new tonight. Let's just
watch these people be miserable.
Yeah, pretty much. But eventually, I want to start all the shows I talk about: House of Cards, Man in the High Castle.
Yeah.
Blah 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 blah. All that
great
crap.
treats, Preston.
You really need to watch House of Cards.
Yeah, House of Cards is so good.
Yeah.
Mine and Casey's comfort show right now is Arrested Development. We've both seen all of Arrested Development. There's 4 seasons. The 4th one's okay. It was made years and years after the first 3 seasons. It's because like all the cast members got so successful in their separate careers that getting them all back together for a 4th season was like nearly impossible. So the way they had to produce the 4th season was weird. So that one aside, the first 3 seasons are some of the funniest episodes of TV I've ever seen in my entire life. And we're rewatching all of it. I think we're in season 2 now, and it is just so freaking hilarious. I mean, I've literally laughed throughout every single episode. It's funny. The writing's brilliant, and the guys that directed and I wrote some of it were the guys that directed Captain America: Winter Soldier and Civil War. And they had a Arrested Development cameo at the airport in the movie. They had because the family's name is the Bluth family in Arrested Development, and they drive around a airport stair car that you use to get on top of like airplanes and stuff in the show. And they had that same Bluth mobile like in the airport while they were doing the fight scene, which is pretty funny. But that show is so funny. For those of you that enjoy shows like The Office or Parks and Recreation, Arrested Development is right up there with them. It is so funny. So I highly recommend it if you're ever in the mood to watch just a comedy TV show. It's priceless. So.
I never got into Parks and Recreation.
Did you try it?
Yeah.
Okay. How many episodes did you watch?
Like 6 or 7.
Oh, okay.
I just couldn't get into it.
That's fine.
I don't know why.
I love that show too. It's so funny. Have you ever watched Parks and Rec, Preston?
No.
It's very good.
I've heard from you. It's funny.
Yeah.
I really like fat Chris Pratt. He makes me laugh.
Yeah, he's funny.
I think I would like it.
He's in it a lot.
Yeah.
It is funny how they had to make an excuse. Like they intentionally make it a joke in the show when he got cast in Guardians of the Galaxy because he leaves the show like really fat. And then he comes back and he's like jacked. They're like, man, what happened? He's like, honestly, I just quit drinking beer. So it's pretty funny. But yeah. Oh yeah, and another excuse they made is they go to London for like some kind of conference, and he like hits it off with this British businessman or something, or prime minister or something, and they become like best friends. He's like, I think I'm just gonna stay here with this guy for like 2.5 months. They're like, are you sure? And he's like, yeah. They're like, okay. So he just like stays in London with the guy, and that was like their excuse.
That's funny.
But that show is very good as well.
Nice.
But yeah, A lot of great TV and movies.
I know you haven't heard about it, but my parents just finished Tudors. They say it's amazing.
Oh, that's the one with the king?
Yeah.
You were telling me about?
Yes.
Okay. That's on Netflix?
Yeah.
Cool.
They say it's incredible.
Okay.
So.
Nice.
Take that.
And this is also the same parents that don't think Pulp Fiction's a good movie?
That was my mother.
Okay.
My mother is hard to impress.
That's
to the point where I just don't recommend movies to her anymore.
Yeah.
Everything I recommend, when it's over, they're just like, oh, that was something. She thought Blended was a good movie.
Oh, okay, with Adam Sandler.
So
is that the one where they go to Africa?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which I like it, Adam Sandler, even as sucky movies, I still have some enjoyment in them.
Right,
but
I'm the same way.
Even that one, I was like, okay, I don't like this.
Yeah.
But they love like Breaking Bad and stuff.
That's good.
So there is some, they do have, some good taste.
Right.
I'm gonna leave my father out of this because he doesn't see half the movies I recommend to him. But
Yeah.
all three of them claim it's amazing. They're also watching Hell on Wheels as well, and they really like that show.
I watched the first 2.5 seasons of that show.
Yeah.
And then when I caught up to it, I didn't keep up with it on TV, and it's all been on TV since then. So I think they're in their final season, if I'm not mistaken. But I did enjoy that show. It wasn't like a show I was like super pumped to watch, but when I was watching it, I didn't mind it. So it's pretty cool.
But yeah, that's their thing they're really into right now.
Nice.
So
maybe I'll check out Tudors.
The stuff I've seen of it looks pretty cool, and it's got Marjorie from Game of Thrones. She's in it.
Sold.
Was this before she did Game of Thrones?
That's a good question.
Okay.
I'm not really sure when this show was airing or whatever.
Interesting.
But anyways, hey man, what's the news?
Guys, the news week was pretty shallow. Nothing too exciting. I'm just going to briefly go over a couple of things here. I was looking at this article, and it's so huge, and I can basically sum it up in one sentence, so that's what I'm going to do. Basically, Sony says, or I'm going to read just a couple paragraphs, never mind, because I'm not good at crafting sentences out of an article. But basically, this is from Joe Screbbles, our best friend at IGN, quote, Sony is now sending out invitations for an event in New York simply called, quote, PlayStation Meeting on September 7th. The invitation doesn't make specific reference to the PS4 Neo, but promises, quote, details about the PlayStation business. Multiple reports have emerged indicating that Sony will reveal its PS4 Neo console at, quote, a technical showcase in New York on September 7th. So that's pretty cool if that's the case, because I know everyone's kind of been waiting. It's just like rumors with everything. At least now we have a pretty high chance of getting to see this PS4 Neo, hopefully in action on September 7th, which is not too far away. Less than a month. So that's pretty cool. You guys at all excited about that still? Just interested to see what it's like?
I just want to see what it is.
Right.
Yeah, I'm the same. I just want to know what this thing is.
Me too.
I want them to come out and be like, this is even more powerful than the leaked specs. And then Todd Howard comes out and he's like, guys, our ultimate mission is for when this PlayStation Neo comes out, day one, we're releasing a Fallout 4 patch where this thing is running like it's immaculate, flawless, like 60 frames locked. That's what I want to see.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah,
that'd be a dream come true for sure.
That would.
Just RPGs in general.
Hiccups are over.
Yeah,
Everyone
finally.
goes wild.
That's all I want.
Fallout 4 came out last November, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, that's right. Yes, because for some reason it's like I felt like that game's been out forever now, but it hasn't even been out for a year yet. So yeah, that'd be great. I'd love that as well.
This month that Nuka-Cola DLC coming out? It is this month.
Yes. Yeah. It should be any day now, if I'm not mistaken.
I think the end of this month. I think so.
You mean the Nuka World thing?
Yeah.
I've yet to dabble in the Vault creator stuff.
I forgot that was even out.
I do want to try that though.
Some
for sure.
Fallout fans you guys are.
Yeah.
I tried to play Far Harbor again last week, and I walked 10 feet and it lagged so bad, and I just turned off the PlayStation.
Oh no!
Nope.
That's a shame.
So yeah,
I liked Far Harbor's DLC. I played it for a little bit.
Yeah, I did.
I did all the main stuff.
I was in the mood. I was doing all the side stuff. I was really into it. But for some reason I was irritated or something, and it just chugged a little bit, and I was like, I've had it with your shit, Fallout. And I turned it off. So
I understand completely. Speaking of Neo, apparently Neo may improve the experience with No Man's Sky. This is also from our best friend Joe Screbbles. I hope I meet him one day. Quote, Sean Murray has discussed the implications of using the upcoming PS4 upgrade codenamed Neo to power No Man's Sky. Speaking to the Daily Star, Murray explained that the Neo, which will reportedly be revealed on September 7th, would, quote, fundamentally change the experience of the space exploration game. The key seems to be in a way the game is created as compared to most others. Quote, if you play another game and if they do a remaster of that game for the Neo, what they will do is up-res the textures and things like that. For our game, it's procedurally generated, so more powerful hardware doesn't just mean upgraded textures or a higher frame rate. Quote, with more powerful hardware, we can have more trees, more leaves on the... He said leaves on those trees. The density or immersion of the worlds or new types of worlds could exist. It's a really fun thing to think about It's a really fun thing to think about what impact more powerful hardware could have on our game and tech in the future. It's worth pointing out that Murray doesn't outright say Hello Games plans or even wants to create a Neo version of the game. His speculations, particularly about having different types of worlds, also seem to contradict Sony's own reported plans for Neo, which will seemingly allow for games to be with improved power to, quote, have Neo modes, but will never exclude first-generation PS4 owners from playing the same base game. It's not the first time Murray has discussed leveraging upcoming tech from the Sony stable. Earlier this year, he told IGN that, quote, VR would be a really good fit for No Man's Sky. So that's pretty interesting. I would like to see, this is definitely going to go into our No Man's Sky discussion for sure, to discuss the possibilities of something like this for No Man's Sky. But I'll save it for that. But just baseline of that would be, I would love to see what Neo could bring to No Man's Sky. Because as of right now, which we'll get to it, I'm not seeing a huge variety of things, with the exception of animals that have different parts mixed together and trees that are different colors for the most part.
Garrett, are you saying that every settlement that you come across looks the same?
Oh, no, we'll get to it. But that is interesting that he's saying that. I know this is old news, but he said that VR would be a really good fit. Amen, it would, because every time I'm flying through space, I'm like, this is so cool. Imagine if I could turn my head like an owl in my space seat and see all around me. That'd be awesome. So I feel like if this came out in VR right from the start, I'd immediately already be way more invested into it than I am currently. But yeah, it'd be cool to see what Neo can bring to No Man's Sky, if it even at all happens. We'll find out on September 7th what the whole deal with that is. But yeah. In addition, Bethesda is interested in developing games for the NX on a studio-to-studio basis, which basically means, according to Pete Hines, is that Bethesda won't choose as a whole. Rather, studios will decide individually if they want to develop games for Nintendo's new console, which is pretty cool. And they asked him about that at a I can't remember what event it was, but they told him, NX is, the big rumors are floating around, what do you know about it? And he's like, oh, I can't say what I know about it, blah, blah, blah. He said, but we are interested in developing for it on a studio basis. It's like studios will decide for themselves. So it'd be interesting to see not necessarily a Fallout, but maybe Doom on NX or something. That'd be kind of cool.
Or the Skyrim HD handheld.
That'd be really cool. I'd be all right with that.
Pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. Be playing it on your TV. It's like, oh man, I got to hit the train, or I got to go to the airport. Bring it with you.
Yeah.
So I will say, I want to reiterate my feelings towards NX, because when we first talked about it a couple weeks ago on our most influential games episode, reading it, I was like, oh, I guess that's kind of cool. It doesn't get me super pumped, but the more I think about it, the more I'm like, that really is, if it works as well as they're describing it, or at least it's rumored to be, that is something really cool. It's one thing to play games on PS4 and then play games on Vita. I know you can do the second screen experience, but this is the NX handheld is the console, and you're playing it off there, streaming it to your TV.
If they just stop making 3DS games, whereas, Nintendo's focused on putting out, games specifically for 3DS and Wii U and stuff, if they just ditch both of those and just we're not making games for 3DS anymore, we're not making games for any other console anymore besides the NX. So that means we're going to be getting console quality Pokemon games and stuff, which that really excited me. It's this console could be our actual chance of having a console quality Pokemon game and stuff. Mm-hmm. So just that thought alone made me kind of excited, even more excited for the NX.
Right.
But the thought of just playing Breath of the Wild on the go, that has me pretty excited.
That is super cool.
I'm not as down on NX as I thought it would be, because I kind of disavowed all the rumors about it being handheld. I was like, nah, I don't think they'll do it. I think they're gonna try and fight against PlayStation, Xbox One, but that's not the case. They're wanting to again make their new thing. But I'm digging it so far. Who knows what it looks like,
right?
And stuff. But I still wish they would just go third party. But
yeah. Who knows? Maybe one day, but as of right now, they're sticking to their guns.
I think one day.
So?
Mm-hmm.
That'd be cool.
I do. I think one day.
Yeah, like I said, the reason my feelings are changing is the more I thought about it, the more I realized I literally am constantly going somewhere. I'm hardly ever at my house. I'm typically here just to do this, what we're doing now, and sleep and work on home stuff when I have the chance to, like work from home very rarely, but typically I'm always having to go somewhere, so that would be cool, like you said, to play Breath of the Wild on the go.
Well, I also read some rumor as well. I literally know nothing about it. I merely skimmed it, and people were saying it wasn't real, but apparently at this financial meeting, somebody found a patent of a chip. And forgive me if I'm wrong. This is literally me skimming it, so I could be completely wrong. But from it, what it looks like, it was a chip that goes in your Vita that makes it way more powerful.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's just a rumor?
It's a rumor there was like a patent for it or something. Like just a chip that goes in your Vita.
What slot does it go in?
I don't know.
You have to like open it up and do surgery?
I wouldn't think so.
Right.
But that is a good question.
Maybe it's like a
I'm not sure what
maybe
slot.
It's like a memory card that somehow affects the brain of it or something. I don't know.
Maybe, but I highly doubt Sony would do that. But if that could be like their kind of jab at portable gaming being even stronger, I would enjoy that.
That's an interesting thought, for sure. Also, about Bethesda, Pete Hines also believes that both Rage and Evil Within deserve sequels. Rage was developed by id Software in 2011, while the Tango Gameworks released The Evil Within in 2014. Both are published by Bethesda, and although neither have had sequels announced yet, Pete Hines believes both games did well enough to warrant them. Preston, would you like to see a sequel to Rage?
Yes.
I think I would,
I think
too.
Rage is super underrated. It didn't, do everything perfect, but I thought it was super fun. That cool little boomerang thing.
I love that disc blade where you could decapitate guys. It was awesome.
And the game was beautiful.
It was.
It looked amazing on 360.
Yeah, even back in 2011, I remember it looking very good.
Like that was the first thing. Like when I remember when XPlay did E3 or whatever, they were they were discussing it. And I remember Adam Sessler being like, "No, this is running on a 360." He's like, "Cause this looks amazing."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Yes, we promise it's running on 360." And alas, it did turn out to be very pretty and very fun. I really liked the world and stuff. Yeah, I wasn't too big into the car stuff.
Yeah, it was fine.
Once you got out in your areas and went to just standard first-person shooting, I really liked it. Almost 1,000 it on 360, but there were these cards you had to collect, and if you missed one, you had to start the entire game over.
Oh, no, I hate when they do that.
I missed one.
That sucks, man.
Anyways, you mind if I read this really quick?
Yeah, go for it.
Sony will be holding a special event September 7th, blah, blah, blah. Apparently, they're going to do the PlayStation 4 Neo, like you said. However, it is possible that Sony will be announcing an upgrade version to the current handheld, the Vita. A Japanese blog found an FCC listing that had patents for 2 wireless chips. One chip had the model name AWCB262. This is similar to the PS4 line of hardware and could be for the PS4 Neo. The other chip has the model named J20H091. This one is similar to that of the PlayStation Vita line of hardware. Due to this similarity, some think that Sony will update the Vita. The NeoGAF user who started a thread about this rumor has dubbed this the PlayStation Vita Trinity, mocking the Matrix-sounding names for PlayStation VR, Morpheus, and the PlayStation 4 Neo. Adding legitimacy to the rumor is a letter of short-term confidentiality that Sony sent to the FCC. The letter states that external photos, internal photos, test setup photos, and user manual are to be kept confidential for 180 days from the dates of grant of equipment authorization, blah, blah, blah. There's just stuff, like I said before, there's a potential chip that could upgrade the Vita.
All the names of those chips sound like Star Wars droids.
Yeah.
That could be what they're actually talking about. They're going to roll out some Sony droids that are assistants that help you in the home, like washing the dishes, folding the clothes, vacuuming perhaps, cooking. Would you ever let a droid cook for you?
Sure.
I bet a droid would do it perfectly if you think. Of course, they don't want to end up like HAL and like I said, 2001: A Space Odyssey. Spoiler alert: HAL takes over the ship. All hell breaks loose. So, droids could potentially do that and kill you in your sleep, which is pretty horrifying.
But I think I was wrong. I think when I read chip and people were talking about it, I literally thought of it as a chip you slide in your PlayStation.
Chips you eat, like potato chips.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
But from what it sounded like there, it's just an upgraded Vita.
Okay. Just like a new model.
Yeah. Just with a more powerful version. Just kind of like how the PlayStation 4 Neo is going to be a more powerful version of that.
That'd be really surprising, but also awesome.
Yeah, I don't know why they would do it, because they're just already poo-pooing the Vita. They're not putting out any first-party games for it and stuff. I would be totally on board for that, for them to revamp it, more powerful, start putting first-party titles and stuff.
Be awesome.
Potentially kind of how they did with a few games on the PlayStation 4 and Vita, like PlayStation 3 and Vita, like Sly Cooper.
Yes.
It had like cross save and stuff, kind of like how just cross save stuff. How the only game I've done that with is Shovel Knight. I can send my save back and forth to the PlayStation 4 version. Mm-hmm. In a perfect world, that would be awesome to be able to play, for a Vita to be so powerful it can play a lower res version of like actual PlayStation 4 games and trade the kind of like an NX version, kind of something like that, but it goes with your PlayStation 4 and stuff.
I'd love to see.
That'd be awesome, but
like hardware wise on a Vita, I'd love to see if they could somehow, without making it too beefy, like implement triggers onto it. Like I know they have the bumpers, but if they could just add tiny little triggers behind that, that'd be awesome.
They would, for this to be like realistic, they'd have to, make it like a PlayStation 4 controller.
Yeah.
Because using the touch back for like triggers and stuff, if the game's not optimized to play remote play, it sucks big time.
Right.
So, this is probably just it's if this happens, then I will be legitimately blown away if they're gonna upgrade the Vita.
Yeah. It's fun to speculate though. I'd like to see that for sure.
I'm definitely not counting on it. I would, if I could bet all the money in the world, I would say it's purely just a rumor and it's not gonna happen. But one can hope.
Of course, you also said that about Spider-Man at Sony's press conference at E3.
That was without me researching it.
Yeah.
But for Sony, like I said, to just completely act like they do not care at all about the Vita and say it's a legacy console and stuff, and then upgrade it. Yeah.
Or maybe their way of saying it was a legacy console was to be like, the old Vita's a legacy,
but
the new one's coming. I'd like to think that's the case.
I would like to think that too, but we'll see.
Yeah. Jacob, you have the 3DS.
I do.
You still enjoying that?
Yeah.
You still just playing Pokemon?
Yeah, I haven't really touched it recently. I've been playing No Man's Sky for the most part. But,
understandable.
I mean, I'd like to get back to it. It's just, I want to get my $60 worth out of No Man's Sky first.
Totally.
But I really like the 3DS. If this NX comes out and it is a new handheld, that's kind of unfortunate because I just bought the 3DS. But I mean, I would assume,
best of both worlds, pal.
Yeah, I mean...
and they just did that price drop on an X.
Yeah, they just had a price drop on the new 3DS too.
So. After you just bought it.
So that further convinces me that the new Pokemon will be on not Sun and Moon, but the one after that will be just on NX.
Oh, for sure.
Going forward, so.
You're gonna get Sun and Moon though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that justifies your purchase of it enough.
Yeah.
So
that's still cool. I've been saying for years I'm gonna get a 3DS, and I still haven't.
It has
done
such a great library too.
It does.
I really want to get it.
It really does.
Play a lot of those games.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe I will before Sun and Moon comes out, because ever since I started playing Pokemon Go, my interest in Pokemon was sparked again. Not to the point where I'm like, I'm a huge fan. I'm just like, I enjoy Pokemon up to a point where I think the games are fun. And watching you play through X and Y, I'm like, that looks really cool. So perhaps I'll play Sun and Moon. I say that now, but it might get to that point.
It's like a baby's first RPG.
Yeah. So that's okay though. I could take on a little baby RPG from time to time. They're always cute and fun experiences. Telltale teased their Mr. Robot series. Have any of us seen that show yet?
No, I know he's got the guy from Until Dawn,
right.
Josh.
He has those weird eyes.
Yeah.
He's always, this is his look if anyone's watching the video. That's how he looks all the time. He always looks very like, his eyes are very wide, and he's just looking like this all the time,
I don't know.
I think I nailed his look like that.
Yeah.
Someone can screenshot this. So... Are you going to watch that show anytime soon?
Probably not.
I probably won't either.
Nope.
It's at its second or third season now?
Really?
I think so. Wow. Maybe it's only its second season.
I just started hearing about it.
Me too. I think it just word of mouth got to a point where it's become very popular. So I have no clue what it's about. But it looks interesting. I mean, I think I read a sentence about it, something about obviously robots in the title. I don't know if he's a robot, if there's robots in it, or maybe there's not robots at all. So who knows? But it seems like Telltale's just doing everything these days. So they did Game of Thrones, Tales of the Borderlands, Wolf Among Us, Walking Dead.
Why don't they take a break and make a better engine?
They could, yeah. I'd like that. I started, we played through episode 1, Realm of Shadows for Batman. Really cool. I'm really digging it, but even after they supposedly tweaked their engine, it's still struggling a bit, which is surprising to me. Now, the game looks really good, but it isn't like it's a Witcher or a Fallout to where it has an excuse to chug. I mean, this is like mostly cutscenes in the game. So, I don't know. But it's fun so far. But I would like to see an upgrade as well. Not that I'll ever, after Batman, who knows if I'll ever play another Telltale series. Now, if they did like a Spider-Man or something down the road, maybe I'd be interested in it again. But characters...
They are doing stuff with Marvel.
Are they?
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
That was confirmed a while ago.
Oh, I remember that now, yeah.
But I've played the first episode of Walking Dead, the first episode of Batman, the first episode of Wolf Among Us, the first episode of Game of Thrones, and every single time I finish it, I'm like, that was really fun. I'd like to play the next one, and I never do.
Right.
But so I'm gonna persevere and actually get through the Batman series.
I definitely am
for the first time. But I really liked the Game of Thrones. The first episode, I think it's still free on PlayStation 4.
Cool.
And I really enjoyed it.
Nice.
It had Ramsey Bolton. He was in it.
Cool.
And he does some really effed up stuff in that game, which made me not like him even more.
Really?
So that kind of transpired to the TV series and stuff. So yeah. I think they had the voice actor and everything too. It sounded just like him.
Nice.
So
it's impressive.
But yeah. Telltale, like I said, every time I dabble in one of their games, I really like it. But something else always comes out. I feel like if they just were to release it all at one time and made a big deal about it at that moment, I would have actually played through the entirety of a game. But
you got to think, like, after the first one they released, like, there's got to be a huge drop off for like the second one.
Yeah, I think that's why they do, for the most part, offer their first episode free. Is to just kind of entice people to get involved in that universe and stuff when all the episodes are out.
I'm trying to think of the benefit of not just hunkering down and developing the entire series and then releasing it all at once versus episodes. If you think about it now, even nowadays, people are tired of like the TV wait of TV shows and stuff where you have to like wait every week for an episode versus a game where we're waiting like over a month at least for the second episode. And people are used to like wanting to binge through stuff and stream stuff at their own will now. So you'd think they'd like hop on that, even though it is a game, but it's still similar to a TV show where you're having to wait.
It's got to benefit them financially somehow.
I guess.
I'm sure
they've been doing it for
down,
so long,
and it's like their style that benefits them. If it wasn't working out for them, they probably would have stopped doing that by now. But maybe just like, I don't know, people that just, I'll buy the season's pass, and they'll just buy it, and then we'll wait for it to come out, and then like
that could be what it is.
About it.
I bought the season's pass.
Yeah, I haven't even bought it yet. I just bought the one episode. It was like $4.99. I don't know. Maybe just people buying $4.99 increments. People are more inclined to be like, oh, I'll try this out for $4.99 instead of spending $25. So maybe they've seen they earn more money just from people trying it out than opposed to just having a set price for $25.
Makes sense.
So
that could be the case.
Yeah.
But I'm still investing in Batman. I'm excited to play through the rest of it. It has me intrigued enough to continue.
I
so. You guys see the Gears 4 gameplay that had the robots in it? I know I mentioned it to you. Did you check it out, Jacob?
Nope.
Okay. Well, I'll give my brief thoughts for those of you that enjoy Gears of War like I do. I've said this a million times. I love the original trilogy. Judgment is its own thing. It's whatever. That was my least favorite Gears, obviously, because it was, I don't know, the campaign bored me to death. The multiplayer was insane. Oh, yeah?
It's my only one.
Yeah. But Gears 4 is not multiplayer. We played their beta, and the beta was fine. It was multiplayer that didn't really bring anything new to the table yet. It may be different when the full game's released, but when I played the beta, nothing really intrigued me very much because I've been there, done that with Gears. It's not bad at all. I've just played through 4 games now of that, so I'm kind of bored of it. And it isn't like Call of Duty, for example, where it's like a new skin on it every year, and typically, surprisingly, we've had like variations of the gameplay in Call of Duty with like the verticality and running on walls and boosting around and crazy stuff like that. So that's enough to keep me coming back to Call of Duty's multiplayer. But Gears, for example, is still just the cover-based third-person shooter that with cover that people hardly ever use. They just run around with shotguns the whole time.
But you can like do executions around cover this time.
Yeah, that's cool. Little things like that are cool. So I'm gonna find out my real true. I mean, like right now, I'm just kind of whatever about it. Maybe I'll have a different opinion once the game comes out because I'm definitely gonna play it because one, I want to support the Coalition because Ron Ferguson is a cool dude and he's been with Gears since the beginning, so I want to play through the 4th one, and it is the 4 like it's numbered 4. It isn't like Gears of War Revelation or something weird like that. So the next one in the series, I'm definitely going to play it. But that being said, I watched gameplay that had Old Man Marcus in it, which is already in itself is cool. They're fighting against like these COG. I assume they're COG. I was reading comments, people were saying different things, but they're fighting robotic men, and I think we've all said this before. Robots are like my least favorite thing to fight in any game ever. Like I just hate robots. I don't know why. They're boring to me. I want to blow someone's arm off and see blood fly out of it in Gears of War because that's what's cool about the Gears violence is all the blood and stuff. And you can blow up the robots too and blow their heads off and everything. But Robots are boring to me, and I wasn't upset about this. I just thought it was really bizarre. I'm sure there's a reason in the story as to why there are robots. It could have been a case, if I had to assume, it's like after the war with the locusts, they're like, man, we lost millions and millions and millions of lives. We need to like create soldiers, which is like a typical thing you hear in like a war story of like futuristic stuff. We need to create super soldiers that we can sacrifice without sacrificing human lives, and maybe they develop these robots to like fight against the next enemy of the human race or whatever on planet Sarah. But I don't know what else it could be. I mean, because they're fighting against these robots. Maybe the robots have turned against the human race or something, kind of like a Terminator situation with Skynet. I don't know, but I just thought it was very bizarre, and I'm not sure what's going on in that. But it's a shame you guys haven't seen it, because I'd love to hear your opinions as well. But they're fighting robot men in Gears, so I guess there's a new enemy now, including the is it called the Krill or something? They're not Locust apparently in the new game. I'm not sure, but the robots, they're in Gears 4.
Crap, what are they called?
I can't remember what they're called. I think they're called the Crawl. Like
Swarm.
Maybe it is the Swarm. Maybe it is.
That sounds familiar.
It does.
Were you just joking?
Yeah.
There's a Swarm in some game that we've played not too long ago. It's either the Swarm or the Crawl. Like it's Krall.
Crawl.
I think so.
That sounds so stupid.
It does. You looking it up, Preston?
Mm-hmm.
Just type in like Gears 4 enemies or something.
Yeah.
I get the feeling it's going to be harder to find than you'd think. It's kind of a generic question. I don't know. I'm going to move on while you're...
Yeah, I'll just keep reading.
Okay. Jacob, have you seen the Rise of Iron stuff they released? Like of the... where the Iron Lords hang out? Where's that area called? The new hub area?
That is called...
Something Peak, right?
Fellwinter's Peak?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Did you see that gameplay? They're kind of showing it off, and different people were showing it off?
Yes.
It looks pretty cool. What do you think?
Yeah. I think we briefly talked about this before,
Mm-hmm.
I think. But,
this is the first time I'd seen it with someone running around it, which was cool.
Yeah. See, I saw this trailer several weeks ago.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it looks great. I like the snowy outdoor feel.
I do too.
It's very different.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the Cosmodrome was kind of snowy, but, now it's like really,
full on
really
snow. You got some wolves hanging out up there. You got the cool statues.
Apparently, you cannot pet the wolves.
The enemy faction is known as the Swarm.
The Swarm. Okay,
Good
Jacob
job,
was
Jacob.
right, man. Jacob, that's amazing.
I know Gears of War.
Look at you go.
Secretly.
Man, you're really on top of things. So, but yeah, Robot Men, that's happening apparently. But yeah, Rise of Iron is probably obviously the last thing I will do in Destiny. I feel like I owe it to return to it which I
When does that
assume.
come out?
Well, that's going to be the last thing that
Next
comes to the original Destiny. So.
Right, yeah. So I assumed that was going to be the last DLC for it. So I feel like I owe it, since I did heavily invest myself in Destiny at the start, is to just wrap up. No, Taken King was the previous DLC, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So then technically I will have played all the DLC. I didn't play a lot of the Taken King. I played the main story and a little bit of the side stuff, and I dropped off after that.
Taken King was very fun.
It was. I enjoyed it.
The whole like questing system they implemented was really like increased my liking of the game.
So you like the game, you don't love it?
I love it.
Okay.
Just not so much right now. There's been a huge drought in content.
Okay.
But yeah, I still love Destiny.
Cool.
I love Destiny, even though
you still love it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just those good times of us like raiding and stuff.
Yeah, that was
fun.
Mm-hmm.
Say what you will about the game, but just like getting together and doing like nightfalls, and like one of us getting a Galahorn and like literally having a conniption.
We have two
fun moments.
We have two fun stories from Destiny. The first one I'll never forget is when we did what's that one where you fight the big guy in the moon? That raid, not raid.
Fogoth.
Strike. It's a strike, right?
Fogoth.
Yeah, the big troll man.
Yeah.
And it was the first time we ever did it, and you got the what's that white gun called? The assault rifle.
Monte Carlo.
Oh,
Yeah, he got
so
the Monte
jealous.
Carlo, and you freaked out to the point where like I thought.
We both got shit.
Yeah, I didn't get anything, but
90% of the time you get shit.
Yeah.
But, I got lucky. My first nightfall got Monte Carlo.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember you freaking out to the point where I thought someone had died in your house. Like I didn't realize you were actually cheering out of excitement. I thought you were screaming in horror. That's how excited you were, and that was pretty cool. And I'll never forget when we did the. I'm just gonna sound stupid. Is it the Vault of Glass?
Yeah.
Okay, I almost called it the House of Glass. Which, let me side note for a second. This is so funny. I watched Straight Outta Compton recently, and that was a surprisingly very good movie. Now I haven't seen the end. I've only seen. I think I have like 20 minutes left of the movie. I haven't seen the very end, but I've seen all of it before that. And I was very I shouldn't say surprised, because the movie looked really good when it was in trailers in the theater and everything. I just never felt like I wanted to go see it. But it was very well done. Like the characters were, I know they're based on real life stories of like Dr. Dre and Ice Cube and all those guys, but it was cool. The acting was very good. All the characters were great. All the character development was awesome. And the story of like the group coming together and like writing all their songs and touring was just cool to watch, even though like I'm not really into rap music, but watching that was cool. So it was a good movie up until what I've seen. But the funny story of this is that when I was describing it the other night, I asked my sister, I was going to ask her, have you seen Straight Outta Compton yet? But instead of saying Straight Outta Compton, I was about to say, have you seen Along Came Compton? For some reason. And this sounds so stupid because for some reason I got Along Came Polly out of Along Came Compton, and I have no idea where that came from. And I was convinced that was the title for a second. It was so funny. That being said, I almost called Vault of Glass the House of Glass.
Wow. So I was wondering where you were going with that.
Yeah, but okay. I thought Along Came...
I thought this was going to be a Destiny story.
No, I thought Along Came Compton sounded so funny, especially for the content of that movie. But Vault of Glass, I'll never forget the first time we did it. We started at like 9 o'clock one evening, and I had to go to work the next morning. I had to leave my house at like 5:30 a.m. So I'm thinking, oh, this should only take like an hour or two. I can get in bed by midnight. It should be good to go. Yeah. We were doing this raid until I think 20 minutes before I had to leave to go to work. It was like 5 a.m. when we finished this. It took us forever fighting. What was the boss's name in Vault of Glass?
Starts with an A.
I can't remember. Well, you're fighting the boss, and it took us like a million tries, and we were playing with these dudes.
It's like Atheon or something?
I think Atheon? That's it. Atheon.
Yeah, something like that. We were playing with these guys that we basically became best friends with for the night because we were stuck with them for like 7 hours straight trying to beat this boss.
Not my best friends, because they were the reason we weren't winning.
That's true. Now,
I remember one guy he kept dying.
Yeah, there was one guy that was very bad that was bringing us down, but the rest were okay. They were good enough, and we were playing with them for so long that we basically like got to know them, and it was funny when we finally beat it. It was worth it because I got the Sparrow that came with that raid, and I also got the what was the sniper called? The one that you never have to reload.
Prythus Revenge.
Well, I got that one too, but it's the exotic one.
Oh, Icebreaker.
Icebreaker, that's what it was. Yeah, I got both of those snipers in the raid. So I was satisfied even though I went to work dead that morning. I was there all day and it sucked. But when we finished, looking back on it now, I'm like, that's not really that worth it in the long run. But at the time, I was like, that's so awesome.
That was like when I beat it on hard mode. For the first time, I had like work off that day, and I started trying at like 9 that morning, and it like was past midnight when I finally beat it.
That's amazing.
And I
cannot believe you stayed on that
all
long.
I got was a freaking Sparrow, and that was it.
Yeah.
I didn't get even like the helmet or whatever.
Did you eat all day?
I think I went and ate at one point, but yeah.
I've never sat down and played a game that long. So.
I didn't even think it was going that long, and people kept telling me I was like too low level.
Yeah.
And I was like, screw you, man. Like
I've got the skills. Level means nothing.
I have heart and stuff.
Age is only a number.
I like how I would be like, dude, I have a Monte Carlo fully upgraded.
Yeah.
I could be saying stuff like that.
I remember when we beat the raid with those guys that we didn't know and we became like friends with. But not only did we all send each other friend requests, but we all threw on our Chatter White shader and took like screenshots at the tower together. There was like however, were there 6 of us that did the raid?
Yes.
Yeah, all 6 of us in like a line. We're like, let's take some pictures, guys.
Then we, I think to actually beat it on hard, I had to cheat. We like pushed Atheon off the cliff or whatever.
Yeah,
with
everyone used to do that.
Yeah, with Warlock shooting the Nova bombs.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
And then we would cheat with the Hive one.
Oh yeah,
with Crota. Yeah, we'd like disconnect our PlayStation.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah,
that was with you
funny.
when we did that.
That was hilarious. Good times.
Yeah, definitely. It makes me just thinking about that stuff makes me excited to jump into Rise of Iron.
Then we legit beat the Taken King that one night, and one of our idiot teammates kept jumping off his stupid pillar or whatever, and like
we couldn't figure out what we were doing wrong. It was this one guy. He kept. Was he getting off too early?
And I taught because
I think he was jumping up.
Jay was playing with us. He's my uncle, and after it was over, he told me, he was like, "Preston, I kept seeing him jump off, but he's like, I didn't want to instigate any like arguments or anything, but it's like I saw this guy jumping off the entire time. It's like you should have told me.
Yeah.
Like gosh, I would have chewed this guy out.
I don't think that guy was even talking the whole time either.
No,
right.
It's like when we beat it, he put on his headset, and he was like from another country, he didn't speak English very well. But he was like, "Sorry guys, like good game," and he like left.
Good game.
Good game.
That was fun. I got some cool weapons from that. I got the scout rifle that was like only 2 away from being like the top top level.
That's cool.
So, yeah, it was pretty cool. I'm excited to hop back in and like see what I don't even remember all my gear or anything.
I don't
so yeah, I'm excited to hop back in and play some more missions and stuff.
Do you have any Gamescom stuff? Are we talking about that?
No, is it happening right now?
Next week.
Oh, next week. No, not right now. Obviously next week.
Well, yeah, Bungie's going to be there, and they're going to be revealing Rise of Iron PvP.
Oh, cool. Nice.
Since we're talking about
I know
Destiny.
Game Informer released a video of showing the new hub.
Yeah.
Fellwinter's.
Yeah, they're doing
Wire or
another
something
thing
like
with
that.
Game Informer. They're revealing little bits throughout the month. So,
I'm hoping that my level is okay to go into Rise of Iron because I never did like the Taken King raid, which I heard
It'll
was
be
really
fine.
cool. But
I'm sure it'll, though, the story and stuff will start giving you weapons and stuff to
I
like
hope so.
be, you know,
Because I'd hate to go into that. I never felt like Destiny was like this to the point where, like, when DLC came out, I felt like I needed to grind to catch up. It always kind of like helped you along the way.
Yeah.
So I assume that'll still be the case. But yeah, Rise of Iron looks cool, man. I'm excited to jump back into it. This brings us to our main topic, boys. The talk of the town, the talk of the world. Let's say the talk of the universe at this point. No Man's Sky. It's a big deal. Everyone's playing it. It's everyone's has mixed opinions. I'm interested to hear yours. Let's talk about our experiences, our impressions, and just our criticisms as a whole, because there's a lot to talk about. Preston, why don't you start us off?
I went into No Man's Sky with literally no hype.
Same
I
with me.
saw it announced at VGX, the one with Joel McHale, and I was like, that looks pretty cool. Never understood why people were acting like this was literally going to be the greatest thing on Earth. Yes, the premise is freaking awesome and stuff, but still, I was like, looks fun.
Mm-hmm.
I went into it on Tuesday with, yeah, I'm sure it'll be fine. I'm not really sure what it is. It'll be cool just to fly a ship around and, discover stuff. So going in with that mindset, I like No Man's Sky. I didn't know it was going to be as survival focused as it is, and I like that. So yeah, I like it. I think it's really cool. I think it's very impressive. A team of like 14, 15 people created a game, on a scale this massive.
Mm-hmm.
It's the first time I left the planet I started out on and turned around and was like, holy crap, that's a really big planet. I didn't think it was that freaking big.
Mm-hmm.
I initially thought that they were going to be kind of just like little planets and stuff, but it's freaking massive. Like, I just went flying off in one direction and it like never ended.
Right.
So, and I did read that you can eventually loop back around like an actual planet. Never tried it though.
So I thought you had tried it.
Oh, no, I am wrong. I tried it on a moon.
Okay.
And I was successful because it was way smaller.
Mm-hmm.
So unless I ended back up at an area that looked exactly the same, because I just went straight and I ended right back up at the same place with the same discovered alien that I was at. So either I went off in like a direction and looped back around, but from what I saw, you loop back around. But I don't see that anybody doing that on an actual planet,
right?
Because it's way too freaking big.
Uh-huh.
Anyways, yeah, it's cool. I think the thing that has people criticizing it so much is that even though there is variation in the landscapes and the planets and the places you discover and the creatures and stuff, that really doesn't affect the gameplay that much. The gameplay is essentially the same thing no matter where you go. Yes, there are little variations, like I landed on a planet with an extreme radiation and storms would come and go and stuff. So if I didn't have a shield that blocked radiation like I had, I would be constantly going back to my ship and landing in areas near caves that I could go in and out of and stuff. But that seems to be the biggest variation in gameplay at the moment. Granted, every time I keep going, something new happens and it intrigues me and stuff. Like, for instance, I'm doing a whole Atlas thing right now where like a little notification came up saying like, go to this place and get an Atlas stone, and you've already done it and stuff. So it seems to be like every other solar system I get to, there's like a little carrot hanging on the end of a stick that it's like, hey, come do this. I'm like, okay, I'll do it. I've been doing the same thing for the past hour, so yeah, I'll do whatever you want me to do.
Right.
But it's like I said, I went into this thinking it was just going to be fun, and I kind of expected what it would be, and I guess it kind of exceeded my expectations because it is more than just discovering things. Like, I enjoy finding certain materials and gold and aluminum, like the neutral elements, and like making a lot of money. Like, I've made a good bit of money. Like, I have over $2 million. So I don't think money's like super hard to come by if you just really stick at it. Especially I'm discovering, and every time I discover one species, I'm like, dang it, well, I gotta stay here and discover every single thing here. So I discover all the species, and they give you like 250,000 units or whatever. And I'm definitely trying to platinum it. Having looked at the trophies, it is pretty straightforward to platinum. It's very easy platinum. Like, I think before I even hit the center of the universe, I'll definitely already have the platinum. But that's kind of my thoughts on it. I guess my final thought on it in terms of like what he said about the Neo is I don't see how that would fundamentally change the gameplay, having more trees and leaves. Right.
I could care less about the way it looks. I just would want more things to do.
Yeah, exactly. And I've heard there's rumors that there's going to be base building, and I just look at it kind of like Minecraft was. Like, Minecraft started on console anyways, where there are no mods or anything. Very basic. There weren't a lot of things to do. There wasn't a hunger system. There weren't, you couldn't go fight the Ether Dragon or Ender Dragon, whatever the heck he's called. I don't know anything about Minecraft.
Yeah.
But Ender Dragon, my bad. But I've heard rumors of there being like base building, things like that. And I think Sean Murray and the guys are very, they're following them on Twitter. They're very humble. They're very appreciative of all the criticism. They're very appreciative of the amount of people that are playing this game and stuff. Right. So many people are playing this game that their servers are going down and stuff. And I think he's already kind of embarrassed where people already went to the same place, and the two people didn't see each other, where he came out, and I'm seeing like YouTube clickbait videos saying like Sean Murray lied and stuff, like there is no multiplayer, when Sean Murray came out and said like, hey, the chances of you meeting somebody are slim to none, but we're sorry, like it could have been a server issue, like we're still working on it to where if you do go to the same place as somebody else and you're in the same area, there will be like a notification or whatever. So I think people need to chill out on that aspect. I mean, this is a group of 14 people or 15 people, however many it is. So I think people need to kind of chill with the online stuff. People are saying like I said, he blatantly lied and everything. I don't know. I didn't research, everything he said, but from what I've seen him say on Twitter, they're fixing that so that can be resolved and stuff. But probably the biggest thing is I would be enjoying this game way more if it was in VR. Like, this game has to be in VR. Like, Sony needs to, they've already promoted this game enough to be on their console. It already came out days before the PC port, and apparently the PC port people are having trouble with it and stuff. So it's very much more optimized for the PlayStation at this moment, and I'm sure once they get the PC handled out, it'll be fine. But Sony needs to sit down and be like, what can we do to help get like a patch for this thing to be on PlayStation VR? Like, will a PlayStation Neo help this be on VR? Like, we need to figure out a way to get this on VR. Even there just has to be a way for this to be on VR. This could just like you were talking about previously, to be in your ship and actually looking around the universe and actually being able to see a planet over here and look over here and see a planet over here, or just to land on a planet and like be able to look fully around, because I kind of feel restricted kind of in the cockpit. You're not really able to look around too much and stuff. So I think VR would completely solve that. But I guess my just ending thoughts is that I think it's fine. I think people thought this game was going to be the best thing ever, and they are very much disappointed, and I think that's where all the disappointment is coming from. But I think the reviews I see where the score is between 6 and 8, I think that's definitely a place I would put it. I think it just depends on, like any other game. If you're not into games like Uncharted, you're not going to like it. If you're not into games like Minecraft, survival-ish type of games like this, you're going to freaking hate this game. Like, you will despise this game if you don't like exploring. If you like linear games, you're absolutely going to hate this game. So that's all I kind of have to say about it, is that as somebody that likes exploring every now and then, but I predominantly like linear games, so this game is just it's fun. So that's all I can really say about it.
I feel it seems that the three of us, including from what I remember, a majority of our friends from the community all were kind of on the same page. We all were pretty certain that this is going to be exactly what it has been so far, which is, like you said, simply go to a planet, land there. If you want, you can discover all the species, you can analyze stuff, you can run around, but with the exception of that, gameplay-wise, there really isn't a whole lot going on. And it's weird for me because the first few hours I played it, I'm like, oh yeah, this is pretty cool. And then by when I got to like my third hour, I was like, okay, I'm kind of bored of this right now. So I stopped playing. And then like a day later, I was like, man, I really want to play the game again. So I'll go back and play it for a couple hours and I have fun. And when I get past the 2 or 3 hour mark, I'm really bored again. And it's getting less and less attractive to me. Like every time I step away from it now, I'm like, I guess I'll jump back into it because I did the Atlas thing and I'll just see what happens after that. And I'm headed towards the center of the universe at least. But each time I want to go back to now, I'm less excited than I was before. I'm not to the point where I'm like, this is boring. I'm just like, I'm not as pumped as I was before to go back to it. Mostly because the only variation I've seen is, you land on a planet and they're always slightly different, but I mean, I can tell. I mean, obviously, it's unbelievable what the Hello Games has accomplished in this game. It really is impressive. But the procedurally generated, you can tell. I mean, this is obvious. They have like a giant catalog of like different kinds of plants and animals, and they all get mixed and matched each time you hit a planet. So it's all just like mixed. It's like a melting pot of different things that are getting mixed and matched together. So each planet, with the exception of the one I went to, that was mostly oceans. That was really cool. There's like really tall mountains, but like very few and far between. It's mostly just water, and there's no plant life. There was no animals. It's just, I got there and it's like 100% complete already. The only thing that was there were like the various bases I could stop at, which I hardly ever stop at anymore because whenever I do, they're the exact same thing every time. There's an alien, you can talk to them. There's the galactic trade station. There's the multi-tool thing, and then the interior looks almost the same every time. So that doesn't excite me anymore at all. So whenever I see those, I rarely ever stop.
Well, now you have an Atlas pass, so can't you get into the other parts of it?
I can. Now that I've yet to do, but with the exception of that, until I got that, I would mostly just pass over those because I just don't care unless I feel like making a free 1,000 credits just by discovering it or whatever. But those don't up until this point, I haven't done the Atlas Pass thing now. But in this right now, they haven't excited me anymore. They're just kind of all the same thing. So that's whatever. And the animals are fine. There's like the cute ones. There's like the funny looking ones like Swagosaurus Rex. It's freaking hilarious. If you haven't seen that, just search Swagosaurus Rex. It's a No Man's Sky creature that is so funny. But I haven't seen anything like that yet. I've mostly seen little critters and stuff. I've seen some bigger ones that kind of look like horses with wings. Not like a Pegasus, but they look like they have butterfly wings on a horse and stuff.
Yeah, I was watching this one guy's video, and he's well past us.
Okay.
He was running into these huge creatures.
Really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
It was pretty cool.
Yeah, I've heard as you go in, like, you see crazier and crazier things.
That's cool.
So
that's cool, yeah.
So granted, that could just be varied based on, anybody that plays this game can get anything, but that's just what I've heard. Could be true or not, I don't know.
I mean, the pluses for me are, I think flying around is always fun. On a planet, it's fine, but flying through space is really cool. One of the probably the biggest thing I appreciate is just the scope of the game. Like we said, I mean, it's obvious that the game is absolutely massive. But the fact that I can fly from a space station to a planet, and it actually take me like a few minutes to get there, is super. Even if I'm using my pulse engine, is really cool to me because it just makes you feel how big it is. And approaching a massive planet is always cool, and flying in the atmosphere is fun. So gameplay-wise, my favorite things are just... Is this Swagosaurus Rex you're showing him?
No, it's this little bear. It's this little bear thing.
I don't like that.
Oh, is this the thing that attacks him?
Is that the Ewok?
What?
Looks like a little Ewok.
It's gonna attack him. That is hilarious.
Yeah, there's just little things like that.
I haven't seen anything that funny looking yet.
Yeah.
But yeah, my favorite things are just the flying around through space. Entering any planet's atmosphere is always fun for like the first few minutes because you're like, what am I going to see new here? And I haven't seen anything yet that's blown my mind because granted, I don't know as far as like the path you can follow to the center of the universe. And when you hit the Atlas Pass, I don't know if that's like the halfway mark or like a quarter of the way through. I don't know. It could change depending on where you're at in the universe. But as far as that's concerned, so far, like the gameplay is completely the same everywhere I go. It's just, mine some stuff, analyze some animals, move on.
And I guess just to give it a, to be fair with the gameplay wise, there is combat.
There is, yeah.
Very, minimum combat, but you can be attacked by space pirates.
Which I have been twice now. Those guys are vicious.
They are
vicious. Now, I will say, when I got attacked by pirates the first time, it's like, there's pirates coming in, protect your cargo. For the first, 30 seconds, like, oh, this is so exciting. This is the first time it's happened. I've played this game for 6 hours, and nothing like this has happened yet. So I'm getting attacked, and, the first 30 seconds, it feels cool. So we're, all flying around fast, and, shooting at pirates, and they're flying around me. But then I started to realize they are just destroying me so fast. So then I start recharging my shield over and over and over again, and then I eventually run out of supplies or whatever I needed, whatever mineral or element it was I needed to recharge them, and they just massacred me, which I wasn't mad because I was like, whatever. I could care less if I lost everything I have in the game. As long as I have a ship to get from point A to point B, that's all I really care about at the end of the day. But they destroyed me, and I got attacked by them a second time later on, and they just massacred me again. But that is cool. I mean, at least there's the space combat in there when it happens. I know you can piss off the Federation ships, and they'll fire at you and stuff, and the Sentinels or whatever, the space cops, they'll attack you, and I usually just fly away because I don't feel like fighting them.
I actually did that. I shot one of the Federation ships, and I saw that I was taking off damage, I was getting carbon for shooting it, and then they started shooting lasers at me, and I just went into hyperspeed.
Nice.
I just got out of there.
Nice. Now you're a space pirate, you bastard. You're probably one of the ones that attacked me and didn't even realize it.
Maybe.
That'd be kind of cool if. I mean, there's a lot of things we'll get to at the part of this discussion where we can talk about what we want to see in it. But as far as my first impressions, the game is exactly what I thought it would be. And that's not a bad thing because that's what I expected. And that's what most people expected, which is good, which from the people that I know, all of us included, I'm not disappointed by the game at all because it's what I expected. So I'm having a moderate amount of fun with it. I'm not excited to go back to it.
Do you want to see what's at the center of the universe?
I do, yeah.
Yeah, that's something that's really keeping me going because I'm I've heard that it's cool.
Yeah.
I know it's out there what it is. But I feel like if he said that he's going to try and fix people seeing each other, and if everybody's going towards the center of the universe, wouldn't that mean that everybody ends up just seeing each other at the end?
Maybe.
That's what I'm wondering.
So, yeah, I'm just interested to see what's going on there.
I just want to know what our character looks like. Like Garrett was saying, there's a picture on the cover, but... Yeah.
There's art of a kid with his back turned to the camera looking out at a planet.
I kind of like that you don't see or hear your guy because it just implies that it's you.
It's you, yeah. So I like that too.
Jacob, what do you think?
Despite me not being very, I didn't have a lot of expectations, I guess, for the game, I was still disappointed overall. Just because I don't think it's worth $60. To be quite honest, at least in my case.
You mean in the sense of gameplay?
Yeah, I'm not having $60 worth of fun. If I guess that's the best way to put it. Usually when I spend $60, I get Overwatch or something or Uncharted.
Do you think Overwatch is worth $60?
I was about to say I don't even think Overwatch is worth $60.
Well, the amount of fun I've had with it, I would argue that is, and arguably I guess it's only $60 on console. On PC, it's $40.
I paid $15 for it, which was very appropriate in my case.
Really?
Yes.
How'd you pay
I just had coupons and stuff.
Coupons
for GameStop.
But anyways, back to No Man's Sky. One thing I do like about it, going off what Garrett said, the actual space, flying and entering planets, seeing the vastness of the systems, that's really cool. Just going really fast, using your light speed or whatever it's called to go to another system. That's really cool. I went to an underwater planet. That was really cool. I had to dive to go into this, the alien settlement.
That's cool.
Yeah. And even when I went inside, I still had to watch my underwater meter.
Nice.
Make sure I didn't drown. But yeah. Unfortunately, that's pretty much the only good thing that I've really found in this game that I like. Other than that, just the inventory space. I found plenty of those upgrades to my suit, but I'm still I collect everything. I'm just one of those people that likes to get everything so I don't feel like I'm missing something. And I would never have room. I always have to delete stuff or just, not accept whatever's in that crate over there.
Right. And
it's frustrating to me because I feel like I'm leaving something behind that I might make money off of or want to use later. That's just frustrating to me. I haven't found a better upgrade for my ship yet, which is frustrating. I found a crashed one, but it had less inventory slots. And I've found a few in the space stations, but they're way out of my money range right now, so I couldn't get those either. But another gripe is... like you were saying, everything looks the same. All the alien settlements, just kind of Like, I know it's a small team of developers that made this game, but still, it's just, I don't know. It just feels like I'm exploring the same thing over and over again with just a different skin on each planet. Mm-hmm. Which might be unfair to say, but I mean, that's just how I feel.
Right.
What else? I guess getting to the center of the universe isn't really motivating me that much because I don't even know what it's going to be. Like, what if it's just something else disappointing, which is what I've dealt with the whole time I've been playing this game. So, I don't know. I just, like, I'm going to keep playing it because I hope that, like, I haven't discovered the Atlas yet. So, maybe my Atlas will be different than yours.
Perhaps.
And still, like, that motivation, maybe I'll see someone, which would be incredible. I doubt that's going to happen. But, you know, just that. These little things that, like, I spent $60 on the game. I'm going to keep playing it just to see if there's anything else that I'm missing.
Right.
But as of right now, it would be lucky if I finished the game to get platinum. I'm just not having that much fun. I don't know if I'm making sense. Yeah. I have a lot more gripes than I do than, you know, positive experiences.
That's the thing is, like, I think everybody would agree with you.
Yeah.
In terms of, like, it's the same gameplay over and over again. Yes, all these different planets. There can be variations that affect the gameplay, like the weather system, if there's all water and stuff. But you can only... There's not, like, an infinite amount of variations on that. It's still essentially the same type of gameplay with just a little like for instance, I landed on a planet yesterday that had extreme radiation. All I had to do was make a suit for me to be resistant to it. And then back to normal gameplay. Like, that's all it was. So,
just like all you're doing is you're just in this constant loop of
it just
getting resources to keep going on your journey to who knows what.
I had one of the listeners of the podcast, sorry I'm blanking on your name, but he messaged me the first day of playing and he got the game a little bit early and he's like, yeah man, I've been playing for like 17 hours and I'm just kind of bored right now, and I'd only been playing for like 3 hours, and I'm like, I mean, I'll kind of see how I'm feeling towards the end of the week. As of now, I'm having fun. I'm just, you know, it just all that matters is if this gameplay loop is going to keep you hooked.
Right.
And if you're into this gameplay hook of, you know, getting resources, you know, trading things, getting more money, looking for, you know, better Omni tool, looking for a better ship, you know, trying to get towards the center of the universe. Like I said, maybe the closer you get, kind of like the Atlas opened up new places to go, maybe the farther you get, more things will be available for you to do, and like will kind of mix up the gameplay and stuff, because it's like it's like anytime there's any type of variation, it makes me excited because I like the idea of the game a lot and I have fun, you know, doing slightly different things in the game. Like when I had to find out I had to make that suit, I was like, oh, this is cool. And then once I made it, I'm like, oh, well, now I'm back to normal again. Yeah. Like I like the game enough to when there's just like little tiny like differences, I'm like, oh, it's cool. There's something new. Like I'm excited. There's something new, which is why I'm excited to get to the Atlas place just to see something new. So yeah, even if you like love the game, you can't deny that it is pretty repetitive.
Yeah.
And once you get to about probably like 12 or 15 planets, things kind of tend to look the same, you know, unless you're getting like lucky and getting like these crazy giant monsters. And even if that's the case, like that doesn't affect the gameplay.
Right.
That's purely just a sight to see.
Yeah.
So I guess if you're up for seeing sights, then this game for sure is not for you. So I'll be interested to see how I feel about it in another week.
Yeah.
Having played it. So I'm just gonna kind of keep, you know, chugging along until something else comes out, and if it's holding my interest. So.
Right.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah, it's obviously, this is self-explanatory. It's definitely more sightseeing than it is gameplay. And gameplay, we've all agreed at one point or another that is typically always what keeps us coming back to any game. And it's lacking in that department, which brings us into the next part of this discussion. What do you want to see implemented into this game? Now, I'm going to be honest. The stuff I want to see is very bold, likely to never happen, but I want to talk about it just because it's the kind of thing that excites me that I'd like to see. But if you want to start, Preston, what are some of the things just that you think, even if they're realistic or not even realistic at all, what are some things you would like to see added to the game? If you want me to start, I will.
I guess I kind of just want objectives. Kind of like my main grievance with Minecraft is like I'd like to have missions to go on. I'd like there to be different combat scenarios.
Yes.
With different creatures and stuff. I'd like I think base building, like they've already talked about implementing, or for what people have been. Well, that's the rumor anyways.
People are talking about building ships too.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I just want a little bit. I mean, I know that completely defeats the purpose of exploring space, but I want a little bit of some linear stuff, just in terms of, like I said, quests. There
kind of is, I guess, with those little check marks at the bottom.
Yeah, I mean, getting to the center of the universe is kind of linear, but I mean, you can do what you will. But I would kind of like the lore elaborated on, because I am interested in these like relics and like the different species and stuff. Like I was really obsessed with the language stuff. Like I'm still like I have like 120 words or something, like, and still the Gek dudes are still talking, you know, and I can't understand them, you know, for the most part. So I'm definitely interested in getting more versed in that. So I don't just some more stuff. I don't. It's just like that's the only thing I can really think of making combat better. I don't know. I'm interested to see what they think of.
I got a small thing.
Okay.
I feel very alone in this game. Like I feel like whenever you find an alien race, there's just one of them.
Yeah.
And I think it'd be cool if you just saw more stuff, like even more creatures. I don't see a ton of creatures. Whenever I see them, it's just like a little group, and they're like miles away from anything else that's you know, moving or anything.
Right. So I've heard that's what people like, is that aloneness, that you are by yourself.
I was going to say that
I can see why people like that.
That can be a plus and minus, because sometimes
I feel like every
cool.
planet's like that.
Yeah, it is cool to have the sense of like,
I don't know if that would be the case.
I'm alone, especially when you land on a planet that has no life at all, and you're like, I'm the only person on Earth, literally, even in real life, that's on this planet, which is cool. If it is true that Sean Murray is telling the truth, that like you can see other people, it's just few and far between. If that is the case, it's even cooler to think that I am the only person in existence that's on this planet right now. That is cool. So, granted, there's probably a gazillion other planets that are just like that one, just elsewhere. Yeah. But
I just feel like they're all the same, and I wish there was some that were populated, some that weren't. What if we saw a city?
Okay, that's cool. What I'll start with that, because I wanted to say, now this is probably unrealistic considering how big the game is already, that it's like a miracle it runs as well as it does already, which is cool. But I think it'd be so awesome to fly into a planet and there'd be like a giant city on this planet. It's like full of civilization and like shops and traders and maybe like guilds or something, like an alien guild that's like, hey, this would be awesome. And you can laugh if you want, but like this would be cool to me.
Yeah, I was like, I wasn't laughing at you. I was just like, that sounds funny. An alien guild, like the Gek. Like,
yeah, like imagine like if you read the monoliths of the Gek, they think they're like the superior race. Yeah. It'd be cool if you like get to a giant like Gek city on this planet that's like has tons of people and like shops and stores, and that's the same thing, but shops and like guilds and like just little villages and groups of people and stuff. Would be cool if like you get there and there's like a guild you can talk to, and they're like, hey, we have beef with this other Gek tribe on like this planet across this star system, like join our guild and like fly to this planet with us and like attack. How cool would it be if you like join like a Gek guild and like you all fly together to this other planet, and say like this planet has defenses, and you like get in this big space battle and fight this thing, and you fight your way into the planet and like get to this like enemy base, and you can like take it over and like make it your own or something. That'd be super cool to me. Like go to different planets that have not only different species but different towns or like villages, and even if it's like, imagine you get somewhere and they're like Neanderthals, it's like a Gek tribe that like hasn't caught up with the rest of time, they're all like dancing around fire or something still, like that'd be cool to see. And you could go to like a planet where they're like a garage of ships, where it's like, hey, we have a bunch of ship parts, like you can build your own ship here. Like if you can pay for the parts, you can build your own. Like that'd be cool. Like I think cities and civilizations, even though that's probably impossible just considering how big the game is already, but I think that'd be super cool. And like the thing that makes my mind go crazy is to think that you could like fly with like a group of aliens to like somewhere else and like go there and like do something with them. That'd be cool. And like you said, quest, like what if you go to like a shopkeeper in a village and he's like, hey, I'm looking for this mineral that will help me make you like this special ammo or like this special weapon. If you can find it, like bring it back to me. And you can like go to a different planet and like you can find that mineral and bring it back, and like a quest line that takes you to like a string of planets or even somewhere else on a planet. Like, look, we have this giant cave that like everyone dies in, no one ever comes out of it. Like if you can, and there's something like very rare in there, we don't know what it is, and like if you can survive in there and like bring it back, like we'll either pay you or you'll get something huge out of it. And you can go with like a group of aliens into like this massive rare procedurally generated cave that you don't know what's waiting for you inside. It could be like some huge alien boss like creature that you have to fight and you get something cool out of it. That'd be cool. And like they said, the base building. Now, thinking about it just on paper, what would be the point in No Man's Sky when you're supposed to be headed towards the center of the universe? It'd be cool to be like, oh, I built a base on this planet.
We're just hung out on this world forever.
Yeah, like, I'm just going to make this my own planet and never leave, which you could arguably do if you wanted to. But it'd be cool to, I guess, make your own base. I don't know what purpose it would serve. It'd be cool to, like, set up, like, a poll where, like, someone, if anyone ever comes to this planet, they can discover your base and they get money for it or whatever. Yeah. You can create stuff. It'd be cool to tame animals. Like, if you had, like, your own base, like, oh, I'm going to make a little farm area and tame some of these creatures.
Yeah, you could realistically make your own, like, village if you could build bases.
That'd be kind of cool. What I'd like to see in the center of the universe, this is not going to happen at all. I have no doubt in my mind this is 100% impossible, but it'd be cool if, imagine if everyone in the world that's playing this game gets to the center of the universe and it happens to be this planet that is like Coruscant, essentially. It's like a giant city where every single player can get, it's big enough to hold the millions of people playing this game, and you get there and you can just see everyone. Now, what would you do? I don't know. It'd be cool if you could communicate and like had some kind of crazy system where it's like, hey, let's just join up with a party of 6 people and we can fly anywhere in the universe we want and go do quests or something. Like, that'll never happen, but that would be so cool to me. Like, I want to ask you guys, what do you want to see when you get to the center of the universe?
What do I want or what do I think? I think it's just going to be like some alien structure.
Yeah, I get the feeling, I don't know what to think. I'd like to think everyone converges there and something crazy will happen. I don't think
it's going to be like a sun or something,
right?
Like a star. I think it'll just be something foreign to us, and I don't know what it will hold, but maybe it'll give us money.
Maybe. This is another thing I think would be cool. Know. Say you converge on, like, let's say you get to the center of the universe and there is not a bunch of people there like you are, like we'd like to see, like real players. What if you get there and it is like this big alien place? And they're like, hey, give us all of the data you collected on your way here and we're going to pay you for all of it, or give you something for all of it. And say you submit all the creatures you found, all the planets, all the bases you found, blah, 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 blah. And it just tallies up like a crap ton of money, like a bonus for like all the things you spent time discovering along the way. Now, when you get all of the credits or you get whatever they give you, what's the point? Because technically that is the end of the game, I assume, when you get to the center of the universe, unless you get there and they're like, hey, you came from that direction, now go that direction if you want to see what else you can see. If you're a big fan of the game and you like just the simplicity of exploring and discovering things, then I guess that'd be cool. But what really is waiting for us there that would either help us continue along our journey or give us something that would make us feel satisfied at the end? I don't know.
So from what I've gathered, we pretty much just want Bethesda to take this.
Yeah.
Just make an RPG.
I would love to see, I wish Mass Effect could have this super formula where you can fly from planet to planet. That'd be so cool. Yeah. Like, instead of using your hyperdrive to get from system to system, you use the mass relays and it takes you somewhere else. That'd be so awesome. But I don't know.
At that point, the game would probably be too large if you had all these RPG elements. Like, when do you stop playing this game?
That'd be the beauty of it.
14 people aren't going to be able to do
exactly.
That stuff,
that's why when I say all of these things, I know it's not going to happen. But that's what I would love to see if it were possible.
Yeah, I don't really know what I want. Just a simple like quest system could be feasible.
Yeah, just realistically, a little
any
quest system.
Variation of just any tiny variation of gameplay involving you. I'm not saying I don't want there to be quests like, oh, I need 50 carbon.
Yeah. Like, bring me the 50 carbon and I'll give you $500.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not a game developer. Just make
a quest to get a new multi-tool.
Do what you do, Sean.
Yeah. Yeah, I gotta say, hats off to that team. Even though we're not super pumped about it, like, hats off for them creating something that not only appeals to the masses, but
I appreciate it.
So do I.
So that's what I can say.
Yeah, I now they will never listen to this podcast, but if they did, I would want them to know that we appreciate it and all the work they put into this game. It really is like very impressive, despite its lack of gameplay. Like, it really is like pretty fascinating. It's unlike anything else we've played as far as exploring goes and space games in general. It's fascinating what they've accomplished. So hats off to them. They've worked their asses off for over 5 years now, and they're still continuing to work hard on it post-launch with all the stuff people want to see fixed. So hats off to them. That's very cool. But that being said, that brings us into our newest segment that, ladies and gentlemen, if you're listening anywhere on Earth, Spotify, Google Play, YouTube, Audio Boom, wherever it is, just know that I would love to implement this segment every single week if you guys are willing to contribute. Now, I know sending us questions takes effort. Sometimes you don't know what to ask. Sometimes you don't really give a crap at all. But if you are willing to send us questions, and these don't have to be questions directed to us, they can be broad questions that you'd ask to the public as a whole, because all of us can answer these questions. People in the comments, we can answer them, because the more conversation we create, the more exciting this whole podcast thing is, because it's fun for the three of us to talk, but I've said it a million times from the beginning. The more you guys tune in and join in on the conversation, the more fun it becomes. So we haven't named this segment yet, but these are, I don't know if you want to call it mail or letters or questions people have sent us using either Facebook direct messages, Twitter, YouTube messages, comments, literally any possible way you can contact us. You can do so on YouTube. Our email is also linked in the description of this video. The hashtag AskIOG, which two gentlemen used for the first time this week, which really got me excited because we created that hashtag. The first two in history. I'm going to give you a shout out. But they have sent us questions. We don't have a name for this segment yet, but it's a segment I'd like to include every week. That's why I encourage everyone. I'm going to send out like a tweet and Facebook status and message like that at the end of every week, because we shoot this on Saturdays, and I'll from now on notify people, hey, this is what we're going to be talking about. If you have any questions for us or the audience that we can include and give you a shout out every week, send them to us, because it creates more conversation and make things exciting. So I encourage everyone listening to do so if you're feeling up to the task, because we will shout you out, and I love hearing from you guys. So that being said, question 1 has to do with No Man's Sky. It comes from our good friend Felipe. I like to call him Felipe of Switzerland, because he's a great man, aka Hooded Dude. By the way, he's playing No Man's Sky, his live stream every week, and it's actually very entertaining. I've checked out episode 1 and
check it out.
The first 5 minutes of episode 2. I'm actually really enjoying it. So shout out to Felipe. He does awesome stuff. That being said, he was not the first one. I'm going to get to the first man that used hashtag AskIOG, but Felipe used it as well. Hashtag AskIOG. That is ASKIOG. You can use it on Twitter for these questions. He says, quote, "If it wasn't for the hype, do you think people would be enjoying No Man's Sky more?"
For me, no.
For me,
maybe
that's
for everyone else, maybe.
I was not hyped. None of us were hyped. But for those that were hyped, that may or may not be devastated, I think that's definitely the case. Yes, if it wasn't as hyped up by Sony and the developers, and if it wasn't marketed as heavily as it was, it probably not. This was considered like a random indie game that just popped up on Steam, and people were like, "Holy shit, this is cool!"
People would be losing their minds over it if
exactly.
it just randomly popped up.
Yeah,
especially if it was like $40 or something. Like, people would be flipping out.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
I think you can literally just scratch out No Man's Sky and put in like any game that's hyped up.
Well, what's the thing? Sometimes,
part,
in rare cases, games will be hyped up to oblivion, and they'll sometimes surpass that hype. For example, in our case, Skyrim.
It is becoming very few and far between nowadays.
Yes, I think it's because a lot of so far RPG. If we single out RPGs, Witcher 3 now is the pinnacle of what an RPG can be, and everything before that was building upon what came before. And now that we've reached Witcher 3, after playing Witcher 3 and you play Fallout 4, Fallout 4 is a great game, we love it, but it doesn't even come close to the achievement of Witcher 3. As far as...
And Fallout 4 was hyped to death, not even by them though.
Right.
It was a victim of just like Fallout 3 being so good.
Exactly.
And them not saying anything was hype enough. So, yeah, I think hype can, I think in terms of this game, it created completely unrealistic expectations for a group of,
15 people.
15 people.
Exactly.
So,
and I'm sure they were scared to death. Like,
yeah.
If I were those developers, I would be crapping my pants. Not that I didn't believe in my game, but I would already be scared that people would be thinking too much of this game that they haven't even played yet.
Especially with Sony putting them on stage at E3. I'm pretty sure they put them on stage at PSX at one point, if I'm not mistaken. And then the delays happening as well. Like, that just... brings attention to it, also. So,
when you say you're going to delay something, people have this like stigma that you're going to make it that much better. And if it's not, then they're going to be even more disappointed.
So I guess I keep reading the question again. If it wasn't anything, it would be enjoyable.
To answer Felipe's question, I think that yes, like I said, I think the best case scenario for them would have been it was just a random indie game that showed up and people were like, "Oh my gosh, this is fascinating." If it wasn't as heavily advertised, I think that the disappointment wouldn't be there as much. I mean, now after a while, word of mouth would build and people would be like, "Holy crap, everyone needs to play this." Maybe then people would be like, "Oh, this isn't everything that it was hyped up to be," but In Hello Games' defense, they never once like gave people a reason to believe in these wild expectations. It was just people's imagination began to build surrounding it, and if it wasn't so heavily marketed, that it might have subtracted from
I
that.
think granted, I didn't, follow them completely because I really didn't care about this game for the most part. But as far as I know, they never really came out and were like, "This is the game."
Right. They're just like No Man's Sky.
Yeah, like you can name. I mean, they like showed what the game was, but people were like coming up with their own ideas of what was happening, and they were never corrected.
That's the thing, though. Like when you say you're creating something where there's like unlimited possibilities, like people are their minds are gonna run wild. So you can't control that, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So
I think it's fair to say yes. If the hype was not, or if it wasn't for the hype, then yes, I don't think there would have been as much disappointment.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks, Felipe.
Yes, thank you, Felipe. Huge shout out, Felipe. Go check out his channel. It's awesome. Hooded Dude. Sam Harris, you were the first man in the history of It's Obvious Gaming to use the hashtag AskIOG just slightly before Felipe. So, Sam Harris, I kid you not, I will never forget your name because of that. And it got me so pumped because we created the hashtag AskIOG. I wanted to do OGQ originally because that's simpler to say, but it was taken already. So we had to go with AskIOG. But like all of you else that are on Twitter, you can use that hashtag and send us questions or questions for the audience, which is cool. But Sam Harris, you are number one. I'll never forget you. His question was, quote, with the reveal announcement of PS Neo about a month away, what are y'all's thoughts? Buy or not to buy? I'll start by saying, obviously, we don't know exactly what it is. We don't know what it looks like. We don't know. We've read the rumored specs, but we have not seen the actual specs. We have not seen it in action. That being said, if it is what it's been rumored to be, I would say yes, because it's a more powerful PlayStation 4 if you can afford it. If it's going to give you a slightly better experience in the Neo mode of games, then I'd say 100% yes. What is that over there, Preston?
This has nothing to do with it, but I put in AskIOG, and there's a lot of AskIOG people, not writing the hashtag, but just AskIOG, trying to spell asking, but they actually accidentally put O instead of N.
Nice.
So
nice.
What a bunch of idiots.
Anyways, I'm sorry.
That's the joke. We're trying to get people to misspell everything.
Okay. Oh yeah. I want to buy it.
I want to buy it too.
I want to, and by me, like I want to buy it, I want it to be good enough to make me want to be excited to buy it. Yep. If it's just the rumored specs a while ago, I'll still buy it.
Me too.
But I want it to be, I want it to be comparable to when Scorpio comes out, because as of now, Scorpio is just gonna freaking massacre.
As far as performance wise,
yeah. So yeah, I talk about it all the time, but I would just love to be able to go back in games like Witcher and Fallout, games that run good on the system. Especially, I would say Witcher runs way better, especially with Blood and Wine. Blood and Wine ran freaking great, as opposed to like the main game when it was first released and stuff. But I would love to go back and play these big games that ran at a steady 30 frames, but here and now, like chug every now and then. I'd love to go back and play them at like, if it could be up-res to like 60 frames per second or something, even like Grand Theft Auto. Like, what if they could,
I've always wanted that to be in 60.
Something. Play games in virtual reality that we couldn't previously on the normal PS4. So, I guess, I would like to buy it. I don't know if it's for everybody. I think for just, Joe Schmo gamer that, isn't really, as into it as like us or the people that listen to the show are. This might give incentive to people to just start PC gaming. If they see they're like, oh, well, consoles are going to go the way of, doing upgrades every now and then, I might as well just get a PC. So, I'm definitely interested to see how they're going to like promote this, and just
we'll see.
Yeah.
No, I will say, for those that have yet to invest in a PlayStation 4 and you're interested in doing so, at this point you might as well wait to see what happens at September 7th.
That is really hard, because I heard somebody on another podcast I listened to say that his PlayStation broke, at this like last week, and he's like, do I buy another one now or do I wait? Like, when does the Neo come out?
You gotta swallow it and just wait.
That's missing a lot of games this holiday season, though. Like,
when's the thing?
No, I was gonna say this.
That's only a few.
At least wait until
it's not released September 7th. This
talked
about September.
At least wait.
Wait till what they were.
Yeah, wait till the announcement. I'm saying now, if the announcement impresses you to a point where like, yeah, it'll be worth waiting for, then. Sure, yeah, go for it then.
That's a good point, though. We don't know when it's going to come out. So.
Right. Now, if they announce it, they're like, this is coming out. Of course, the rumor was that it was coming out shortly after.
There still are rumors saying it's coming out this year.
Right.
But then I just heard that some developers were just now getting dev kits.
Right.
So...
how would that be possible? Yeah. Or of course they could come out and they don't technically have to have their up-res Neo versions of their games yet, even when it's out. Like you could still play your current PlayStation 4 games on it and already have it.
That definitely gives me no incentive to buy one right off the bat if, people haven't even developed anything for it.
Right.
So
it'll be interesting to say, but I was going to say if you have not already invested in a PS4, at least wait to see what happens on September 7th. If it doesn't impress you enough, then by all means go ahead and buy PS4 because the PS4 on its own already is an awesome machine. I have no complaints whatsoever, but if the Neo does indeed improve the performance of PlayStation 4 games, then I would say potentially based on the specs.
Well, I guess I kind of retake what I just said. If they can put it out early, even though people haven't developed for it, that would solve problems like, oh, my PlayStation broke. Am I going to have to wait till next year to get the Neo, or can I get the Neo now? Even though there's still not games made for it, at least, I have a PlayStation that can do the regular stuff and play Neo stuff when it's available.
Right.
So, I don't know. It all hinges on what this thing is.
Yeah.
So
it's kind of hard to give a definitive yes or no to that.
I can already say us being like who we are as gamers, and a majority of people that listen to us are hardcore gamers. I can, especially if you're hardcore PlayStation gamers, I think you can for sure say that like, yeah, you're probably going to get it, even if there's just 4K streaming capability, not for games, but if I can do Netflix in 4K, or if kind of like the Xbox One S, if it can outdo the output like the HDR or whatever it's called. I've heard in terms of, with Xbox One S that is like a big improvement. Like the blacks are super dark, the colors pop more. If there's like a similar, a thing like that with, the PlayStation 4 Neo, then yeah, that'll definitely. Well, I don't even remember what my first point was. Never just forget me. I'm stupid. I don't even know what I was talking about.
I know what you're saying.
All right, I completely lost my train of thought.
That's okay.
But yeah, we just have to wait and see. I would like for it to be more than it is. That's all I'm saying.
I agree.
Yep.
It will, based on the specs, the rumored specs, it will be. But yeah, yes or no, I would say wait and find out, but we're going to get it regardless. So it's
I have nothing to add.
That's what I meant to say.
That's right. It's okay, Preston.
Sorry.
I'm still very attracted to you across the table.
Thank you.
Our pal Sizu Mizu, forgive me if I'm pronouncing your name wrong.
I know on Facebook they got the picture of the profile of the purple lady.
The purple lady?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, Sizu is a pal of ours.
Who's that?
What?
Who's the purple lady?
This person. It's not what they look like. It's like a drawing.
Yeah, me and Sizu talk a lot on Facebook about games and stuff, which is cool. And he submitted a question that's very simple, but it pertains to us, especially me recently, because I thought this was perfect time. We're giving a shout out to Sizu. Thank you so much for tuning in every week. It's always an honor to have you join us. This question simply is, physical or digital games?
Oh, no.
Now, I know we've briefly discussed this, but let me explain my case why this is perfect timing. Just recently, I bought both Batman Realm of Shadows Episode 1 and the Season's Pass digitally for my PlayStation 4. A couple weeks later, I also bought No Man's Sky digitally. Now, there's two reasons for this. First reason is I really wanted to play Batman. It wasn't coming to physical until next month. It wasn't coming to physical until next month.
Yeah.
It wasn't coming to a physical edition until next month. So I didn't feel like waiting. I really wanted to play it, so I downloaded it. And at that point, I was like, well, I might as well play all of them digitally because it'll be weird if I have Episode 1 digitally and I have the physical edition. Even it's not a big deal, but I was like, I'd rather just go ahead and just pre-order the whole thing. So I pre-ordered all of it digitally, so I'll be playing that entire series digitally. And then No Man's Sky comes around. I did not pre-order because I was not super thrilled like we discussed, but I went into a GameStop after work the day of release. They're like, oh, dude, we sold out hours ago. I was like, oh, okay. So then I called the Best Buy like down the highway. I was like, do you guys have any copies of No Man's Sky? And they're like, no, we do not. I was like, okay. I assumed if these two places were sold out, there's no way our GameStop near home was going to have any. So I didn't even bother calling them.
They didn't.
Yeah, they didn't. Jacob found out they did not either.
They said they spoke to their regional manager and they didn't have any copies in any of their stores.
Oh, really?
So.
And you said the closest one was like an hour away?
Yeah, it was in like Flowery Branch.
Oh, okay.
So...
Yeah, so they didn't have any copies near us physically left. And yes, it is my own fault because I didn't pre-order, but I wasn't upset about it. I was like, oh, I'll just buy digitally. I will say when it comes to physical or digital games, I like the convenience of digital games. And if a game's sold out, or I retail if it's sold out, then I can just go on my PlayStation and download it, which is cool. And No Man's Sky is a game, like I said, I wasn't super hyped about anyway. Now, if I was really pumped, I'd like the physical copy. But for the convenience of it, I will go digital. But 9 times out of 10, I like to go physical. And another thing is, I like the perks of going physical. Because 1, yes, your friends can borrow it. 2, what if your internet sucks and like you have to have the internet connection to play certain digital games and you're screwed there? That sucks as well. Now, in my situation, I'm very what's the word I'm looking for? I'm very grateful for the fact that I have, for the most part, I mean, Comcast craps out on me a lot, which is frustrating. But for the most part...
They've had a rough couple weeks.
They have. Now, when Comcast works, our internet is strong here. It's great. I don't have any problems. I have no complaints. Everything downloads and uploads very quickly, which is cool. So in my case, digital is okay. Like, I have no complaints about it. It always works out for me. I don't have to worry about not being able to play them. Now, if I was in a situation like we were a few years ago when we all shared an apartment, which is still the best year of my life to date, that I loved that year. It was amazing. But if we all lived in an apartment together, it'd be different. I'd say, man, I kind of want to get this game physical, because what if one of us either wasn't able to get a copy of it, or one of us didn't feel like buying it, and later down the road, like, hey, I'd love to play the game. It's like, hey, man, borrow my game. But the three of us, the only time we see each other is once a week to do this podcast, and you and I occasionally see each other during the week to do Let's Plays. But we rarely are just around each other enough to borrow each other's games these days. Now, Preston's let me borrow his 2DS for like 6 years now, which you can take home today if you want, because there's no way I'm going to get back to Majora's Mask anytime soon. But because I keep forgetting to give that back to you, but... Which is funny because we just don't see each other enough to where it would make sense for us to just borrow games for each other. I would do that if I had a game that you guys hadn't already played and you're like, I'll play that if you'll let me borrow it. I'd be like, by all means. Like I've been saying 100 times, you can borrow The Killing Joke if you want to read The Killing Joke. But that's why I don't care as much about buying physical all the time. Like for the smaller stuff like Telltale's Batman and No Man's Sky, it made sense to me to go digital. 1, because it's convenient, and 2, I don't really think anyone's going to feel like wanting to borrow it anytime soon. So the convenience of digital is what I enjoy, but 9 times out of 10 I go physical because I like having the physical copy. And 1, being able to say, yes, this is mine, I can physically hold it in my hands. And 2, it's cool to have like a collection of games. Which, Preston, let's move on to you because you have like quite a huge collection. Why don't you give us your thoughts on physical versus digital?
I'm physical all day, every day.
Yeah.
I don't want that digital shit.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
Well, you downloaded Batman digitally.
Yeah, but I'm buying the physical release next. That's why I didn't buy the Seasons Pass.
For no reason, just to have it.
No. Hear me out. I didn't buy the Seasons Pass. I only bought... Yes, okay. The physical comes with the Seasons Pass. So instead of it being $25, I spend $30. I'll spend $5 for the case. Whatever, I don't care. I like my nice collection. I got everything.
How many games do you have now?
I have like 50 something.
That's amazing.
I got everything all alphabetical. It looks nice. I like having it in my hand. I feel like, and I have way more games digital. Because on those flash sales, on flash sale, if you got a game under $5, I don't care if it sucks or not, I'm probably going to buy it.
Right.
I got all the Metro Last Light, Metro 2033, I got those digital. Mm-hmm. I got Sleeping Dogs digital. Mm-hmm. I got Shadowfall digital.
You have Mad Max digital?
No, I bought Mad
physical?
Max.
Okay.
Yeah. I probably got more digital that I've bought in flash sales. So I'm not...
So you're a big hypocrite then.
I know. I like joke about the digital stuff.
I mean, like for like new releases, you prefer to like have.
Oh yeah, I will never ever. I'm never gonna pre-order and preload on digital. That's just sadistic to me. I can't do it. I do think it's cool, like to have it downloaded, so when midnight comes, you just play it. Mm-hmm. That is cool.
Yeah, that's a good upside.
But and I've upgraded my hard drive to like a terabyte, so I can hold a lot more stuff. So it wouldn't be completely out of the realm. But I'm really bad at I'll delete a game and then the next month I'll be like, oh crap, I want to play this again.
Yeah.
I just take the disc out, stick it in, wait for it to install, and start.
It is much quicker that way.
It is much quicker, and the convenience of borrowing and stuff. Holy crap, dogs are going crazy.
Dogs are freaking out down there. I apologize.
The whole borrowing thing, I just like me and my uncle do it quite a bit. like he doesn't buy as many games as me. But he likes to try stuff out. Like he was like, hey, I heard Doom was good. Can I borrow it? I was like, heck yeah, man. Look at all my games. You can borrow one anytime you want.
Yeah. So
I let him borrow Doom. One of my sister's friends was like, I haven't played the new Call of Duty yet. Can I borrow it? It's like, heck yeah, man. Borrow it. I don't play that shit. So it's fine. I like being able to, you know, I spend a lot of money on my games, so I'm fine to be able to share it with everybody, and you can't do that digital. I knew that there was a system to be able to do that before Xbox One, like, stripped its DRM, and that might be available in the future, is to allow, you know, a certain amount of like a license or two on another console or whatever. But at the moment, you can't do that.
Right.
But I know there are, like I said, there are advantages of digital. Like it's forever. Like from now on, PlayStation, if I buy a game and it's under my ID, when the PlayStation 5 comes out, I should be able to have my entire catalog of digital games that I should be able to play on PlayStation 5 and stuff. Whereas maybe my disc won't go into the PlayStation 5 and whoop, I might be screwed out of luck there. Yeah. But then I can make the argument, well, I'll play my PlayStation 4, I'll just plug it back in again. Yeah, I know that sucks and stuff, but who knows? Maybe my PlayStation 4 might break. Hardware breaks every now and then, right. as you know. And stuff. I know Jay, I'm bringing up Jay a lot in this podcast. His PlayStation 4 just keeps randomly ejecting discs and stuff. So I don't know if his is about to, you know, hit the crapper or whatever. But there are advantages and disadvantages, of course, and inevitably it's going to go digital. Like it's just, I'm sure that they're going to start lowering the prices and stuff once they get that situated with like the big box stores and stuff. Yeah. I don't know how that's going to work. It might be a long time, but I think it's inevitable that it will go all digital. Maybe, I don't know. I hope not. I hope that's not the case, because I just like the experience of going to a store and buying the game. I just like that.
I love that experience too.
And I love the Amazon Prime experience where I get like $12 off a game and it just shows up to my doorstep. That's pretty much
I still haven't tried
digital.
that yet.
I love it.
Maybe I'll try that for like something soon. Maybe I'll try that for Deus Ex.
Yeah, it's cheaper too, dude. Your games are like $49 or something, and it just shows up to your house. You don't have to worry about going to the store, even though I was just like, oh, it's cool. Right? Yeah, the day of. Which, like I said, I don't mind going to the store, but it's cheaper for Amazon to do it. But that's kind of like my digital download thing, is I just sit at home and they send it to me.
But you're not getting power-up points at GameStop.
Yeah, I don't get I spend
your
like
free
$800. Yeah, essentially. I told you guys I bought that Zelda Shadow Box like 8 months ago. Yeah. And I figured out they gave me a coupon to go to thinkgeek.com, enter the coupon, and then that gave me the Shadow
Box. Oh, really? So you're just waiting on it for no reason?
I've been waiting on it for no reason.
Did you order it?
Hopefully that code didn't expire.
No, it was a week away from expiring, which is funny.
Oh my gosh, it's a miracle.
I did get it.
Yeah, don't be like me and waste a 12-month gold membership.
Oh yeah. But I joke about it and stuff. But yeah, I don't particularly like digital. I don't like the act of downloading. Once internet speeds get like ridiculously fast, I'm sure it'll be better. But I hate waiting when I can just stick a disc in. Granted, you have to wait for updates and stuff, but for the most part, a single player game, you can just stick it in and start playing.
Right.
So yeah,
physical's tempting too. If I go into any store that sells games, specifically a GameStop, like it's like impossible for me to leave without buying something for some reason.
Even you just like look for a super cheap used game, just something to add.
That's
what
I did for Dark Souls 2 recently. I went in there to look for something specific for Casey. I think I wasn't even there for me, and I was looking around, and I was like, Dark Souls 2 is only $16. I was like, man, I love Dark Souls 3. I'll eventually play this. Like, I'm not going to play it anytime soon, but I want to buy it. So I bought it, and it's just sitting there. I haven't touched it yet. Yeah. So, but going into a store and getting a game is always exciting, especially when it's like something you love. It's always cool. And
like I don't know if they'll ever be as fun, but like those midnight releases we did for like GTA, especially when I went and got Skyrim, that was super fun.
That's my most memorable midnight release was Skyrim by far. And Halo 4, even though Halo 4 I wasn't nearly as pumped for as I was Halo 3, but just the midnight release was cool because there's like over 100 people there. The Wing Zone, there's a wing place nearby our house. That's their advertisement. It sounds like a robot. It's funny. Wing Zone was there, and they were giving out like wings to people, and they had like contests, and like I can't remember what the contest was. They'd give people free wings if they won the contest. So that was cool. And we were all just hanging out for a couple hours, just talking about Halo with random people, and then the game released, and we all had fun. But stuff like that was cool. One of my more memorable ones I thought was really fun is when I did that Dark Souls 3 podcast with Double Tap, and like immediately after we finished that it was like really early in the morning. I immediately left to go buy the game. It was just cool to be able to like talk about it a lot and then go buy it and come home and play it all day. So just it's fun, even though it's like a journey where we live to get to a GameStop so far from our house. it's a journey, but it's a fun journey because you know you're going to get something cool when you come back, usually satisfied. So
yeah,
that's cool. What are your thoughts, Jacob?
I used to be all completely physical. I mean, I still am for the most part, but I've come to appreciate digital a little more, just for a few points that we brought up already. You get the game right when midnight hits, which is cool. You also, sorry,
it's okay. I was wondering what that was.
God, what was the other point I was gonna bring up? Like, digital's also more clean if you think about it. Like, you don't need a freaking bookshelf to put all your freaking game cases in.
That's true.
But it's cool at the same time to show off all your games. Like, it's the same thing with
look at all the money I've
movies.
spent on myself.
I know.
Yeah, it's like, look at my vast geek collection.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can appreciate it for those reasons. I want to stick with physical as long as I can, just because I think it's cool to have all the game cases shown off.
Right.
I like that idea. Good things about buying physical games: you can give the game back to GameStop, for example, if you don't like it.
A huge
get
part.
money back.
Yeah.
You can.
Which they're getting into it now, like Steam. I heard a lot of people get refunds for No Man's Sky because they thought it was boring or it wasn't running.
You can get a
well
refund on Steam. Oh, that's cool.
Plus, the game's having so many problems. So.
Yeah.
And also, you can get FIFA. You can take it to your friend's house, play FIFA. So.
Yeah.
You can't do that with.
Or you can play
game.
soccer in real life and get some sunshine.
Yeah, or you could actually go play outside.
Yeah. I'll never forget when you beat Spider-Man 1, the video game on PS2 and Xbox and all that. Peter Parker, after you beat Green Goblin, he's like, "All right, that was fun. Now go outside and play." That's the last thing he says in the game.
Good one, Spidey.
Yeah, I remember thinking like,
Tobey
wow,
Maguire.
He broke the fourth wall there, just like Spidey would.
But until the day inevitably happens where we go totally digital, I'll buy.
That's when Skynet will take over and we're all doomed. So, like the robots in Gears 4 that I'm not excited about. They'll turn on us.
Yeah, those are my thoughts.
Cool. Yeah, thanks for the question, Sizu, Sam Harris, and Felipe. They all, like you see, this added drastically to the conversation. This is fun. And all these questions are not only for us, but for all of you listening, whether I've said before, Spotify, Audio Boom, Google Play, iTunes, and right here on YouTube. No matter where you're listening, keep in mind YouTube is our home base. We'd love for you to come over here and check out all of our additional content and subscribe if you enjoy it. That'd be awesome to stay connected. But these questions are for you as well. If you're listening down below, please leave your thoughts. That goes for YouTube and Audio Boom. I don't know if you can leave comments on anything else, but I know Audio Boom and YouTube specifically, you can leave comments. So please tune in and share your thoughts, because I'd love to talk to all of you about that stuff. It'd be really cool. And all things No Man's Sky. We talk so much No Man's Sky. What do you want to see brought to the game? What do you want to see in the center of the universe? What are some of the things that you're drastically disappointed about? Please share, because we've shared
and
ours.
Like.
Yes, and like. The game sucks. Tell us what you hate about it most. But tell us everything No Man's Sky you want to share. That'd be awesome. But yeah, that's all the news, boys. It was fun, and the questions I loved. I encourage everyone to send us questions as often as possible, because it creates more conversation. I'd love to hear from you guys.
Yes. That was the It's Obvious Gaming Podcast, the show where my two best friends and I get together every single week to discuss video games. Obviously, if you liked that, please subscribe to our YouTube channel at www.com. What? www.youtube.com/itsobviousgaming. Use the hashtag AskCapitalIOG for questions. Also send us questions on Facebook, also in the comments below. Subscribe, like I said. Check us out on Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, Audio Boom, and am I missing one?
No, I think that's all of them.
Yeah, that's all of them. We're on pretty much everything you can listen to people talk on.
Follow us on all of our social media to stay connected as well. We post goofy pictures from time to time on Instagram. That's fun. What else is going on? Oh yeah, PSN community. Yeah, I always forget about that one. Yep. I wrote a stellar review of No Man's Sky on our PS community page. Did you? Oh, with your controller? I said like, I was like, somebody asked like, what do y'all think about No Man's Sky? And I was like, it's fun and relaxing. That's what I said. Yeah, okay, great review. Yeah. I can see that's on the back of the box. It's like when the special edition comes out, fun and relaxing. Preston Pugh, It's Obvious Gaming. Yep. Hey, so, maybe that'd be cool. We'll blow up. That'd be awesome. Okay. But yeah, gentlemen, it's been a pleasure. It has been. I enjoy this. I hope you at home enjoyed it as well. Amen. Like I'm going to say for the 100th time, please become involved with us through all our social media. Yes. Yeah, in bed. In any means. Hop in bed with us. Let's talk. But yeah, on all our social media pages, especially our www.com page. Yeah. That's the most important one. Yeah, it was awesome. But anyways, we'll see you guys next week. Everyone have a great week.